Special edition of Best Ball Breakfast. We're going to call this one Best Ball Brunch because it's kicking off at noon, but I still have a pot of coffee for you guys. We got some big news to discuss as well. Adam Thielen on the move to the Vikings. We got news on the Rashee Rice incoming suspension. We'll unpack that in a couple more Best Ball Mania drafts. And then later, after a few solos, we're going to have Mike Schopp from ADP Chasing swinging by for a draft. And of course, Neil Orfield. So we're going to rip off some drafts here as I frantically rush to complete all 150 of my Best Ball Mania drafts on stream. I'm Pete. This is Best Ball Brunch.
It really isn't that hard, guys. You just go top two, win it, win it.
Okay, I think we can be done here at running back.
You only have 3 running backs. This roster is littered with game theory, arbitrage, exploits, and theoretic reasoning.
Bro, light mode, my eyes, dude.
I don't know. I prefer that move more in a time box contest.
Bro, have you ever scrolled so far down that, like, there's no more names, bro?
Don't do drugs, kids. Draft and drive instead.
You can't have it both ways, dude. Quid pro quo.
All right. What is up? What is up, everybody? Not our normal time here. Wednesday. Normally, I'm getting ready to do Best Ball Bash and Randomizer on Wednesday afternoons. We decided to flex that show to this evening because we needed to accommodate our special guest, Jacob Sanderson, for that show. So Best Ball Bash, the finale is going to be at 8 p.m. tonight. We're going to have Jacob Sanderson doing a very special edition of the Randomizer with me at 9 p.m. It's basically going to be improvised PowerPoint presentations. We have a bunch of slides that people submitted, crazy takes, and then Jacob and I are going to alternate having to present those PowerPoints that we didn't make as if we made them and as if we believe them. And then you guys in the chat can decide whether we convinced you or not and whether we get to make the proper pick. So looking forward to that. And then the Bash is going to be super fun in that we're going to try to get 6 people on stream. So 6 people each doing 3 picks of an 18-round draft. So mixing it up, trying to get creative here for the finale of Best Ball Bash and the Randomizer. But right now we are off to the races in my 136th Best Ball Mania draft. Look at this. Even Davis Maddock in this Best Ball draft. Unreal. Unreal. All right, 110 here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I do want to update my BBM exposures here in a second via the draft caddy, just so I can make sure that I'm seeing everything here correctly. Third Eye Blind Hits goes Puka Nacua. I'm pretty flat on Neighbors, Amon-Ra. I'm a little behind on Brian Thomas. Let's get some more Brian Thomas. If you saw the video I did on the Deposit Kingdom with Sean Siegel, he was advocating that we take Brian Thomas basically with any pick other than the 101. I asked him for his favorite player take, and he said Brian Thomas there. So I am never going to fade Sean Siegel there, and I don't feel comfortable being at only 8% Brian Thomas. So let's go ahead and grab him. We'll see what we have on the turn. We'll check in with the chat. What is up? What is up? Maybe I should do a live watch along of Davis's stream in the same way he did a live watch along of the Best Ball Bros there. Let's see here. Let's do some 0 RB builds. Let's do some 0 RB. Let's get some AJ Brown. Let's get some AJ Brown here. Or yeah, we'll do AJ Brown. Brian Thomas, AJ Brown can be the start for us. Let me go update my exposures just so I have it. We'll go in here. We will filter for just the Best Ball Mania because that's what I want to see when I'm drafting Best Ball Mania teams. 133 teams in the book. Can I get a refresh here? We should be at 135 in the book. We should be at 135. Let's see what we got here. Can we get it? Can we get it? $25 drafts. 136 teams. There we go. There we go. Filter for Best Ball Mania. What was the other $25 draft? Oh, was there one? Oh, did I miss? I think I only got one. Was it like the Rottweiler or something that filled super quickly? I don't think I got in the other ones in time. I was like, was there another $25 draft this summer other than Best Ball Mania? But I think it was that Rottweiler or whatever. Or maybe it had a different name. I can't keep track of all these dogs, guys. I can't keep track of them all anymore. There's a pointer contest out now. All right. How are we doing here, guys? Yeah, this is always something I sweat a little bit when I'm streaming all of my drafts. Go AZ Cards asking if any of the BBMs got canceled. No BBMs have gotten canceled yet, which is that's a relief. There's nothing worse than like if the contest fills and then one of your contests gets canceled or whatever. But I don't know. I think I'm just running pure because both years that I've sought out to stream all 150, I've had 0 cancellations, 0 scrambling to squeeze one in at the last minute. And my OCD would really kick in if that happened. Like, I'm going to be done with all of my streamed BBMs on Friday. I'm going to do another special edition stream on Friday. And if I were to be done with that, and then over the weekend, I saw that I had to cancel, like I am going to just fire up a stream on my laptop from wherever I'm at to bang out that last stream draft. My OCD will not allow for 149 stream drafts and 1 non-stream draft. So I can warn you about that right now. So we start Brian Thomas and AJ Brown here. Make sure my exposures are updated via the Draft Caddy. TD says the pointer has a pretty awesome payout structure. Let me check that out. I haven't had a chance to actually look into that. Yeah, D-Boot says they haven't been canceling mini drafts this year. I have like 800 on UD and only 1 canceled. Yeah. Let people draft. Let people draft bad teams. I am pro that mandate. So 7 entry max, pretty badass logo here, this pointer dog. It's a 2 of 12, 1 of 6, 1 of 3, 188 seat final. This does look fun. This does look fun. $7 buy-in. So what? Or no, $11 buy-in. So $77 to max, 40,000 to first. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see here. I think it was someone yesterday. Oh, fuck. I wanted George Kittle. I have been doing a lot of elite quarterback builds. Let's sit on Jayden because I'm going to scroll. I want some Xavier Worthy. Let's talk. I'm going to scroll here. This tier is so flat. I'm going to bounce around, get my guys today. So it's interesting. The Rashee Rice suspension, this just from Tom Pelissero right now. Rashee Rice is accepting and will serve a 6-game suspension to start the 2025 regular season per sources. The NFL and the NFLPA are working to finalize the settlement, which will end Rice's disciplinary limbo and make him eligible to return week 7 versus Las Vegas. This is a really fascinating thing because this is the best case scenario for Rashee Rice. Like, this is the best case scenario. We were all worried that ruling and stuff was going to come down in the middle of the season. I'm going to grab Jalen Hurts here to stack up with AJ Brown. We were all worried that it was going to take until week 5 or 6. There would be the hearing or whatever, where whatever her name is decides on this. And then it would be like a 6 to 10 game suspension in the heart of the season, bleeding into the fantasy playoffs when it matters the most. That is completely off the table now. Now we have this fairly clean bet. It's like the Addison thing times 2. We basically discounted the market. We basically said, hey, Addison's missing 3 games. He should be a mid-6th round pick. We're now going to take him in the early 7th because of the 3-game suspension. That's how the market essentially treated that. Granted, it had a lot of time to come up with that collective group consensus pricing. With Rashee Rice, if this guy was a 2-3 turn pick by like consensus ADP with no suspension, and now we have a 6-game thing, I don't know. Like he probably should be back to being, I don't know, a 4th round pick, late 4th round pick. Like, if you believe in the Rashee Rice thesis, if you were someone who was willing to take him at the 2-3 turn before, you can survive this. You can take your Rashee Rice. You can get your chaperone. Go pair him with the slot demon. Go pair him with Romeo Dobbs. I'm going to be curious to see where Rashee goes. Now, that said, I still take Xavier Worthy here early. Incredibly bullish on Worthy. And I like the idea that Worthy can get off to a fast start, establish what he did down the stretch in the playoffs last year, and then keep that rolling once Rashee's instigated. So I'm extremely bullish on this entire passing game. I had been almost fully out on Rashee Rice here throughout much of the offseason, and now I'm ready to buy, because I do think the market, as we've always said, nothing is ever priced in. It's never priced in. It does not matter what the news is. It will be counted against him. And so it will be interesting to see how this actually translates in drafts. But yeah, I'm in on Rashee, is my TLDR right now. What is up, Jonathan? How's your Hendo exposure? Get him much earlier. Yeah, let's see what my Hendo's at. Or I actually don't know if it's it's going to show here. I can go look in here and just see. I haven't been drafting him much post-rise. So So my exposure is probably going to be a little sad, Tromboni, how you'd want it. I'm at 9.9%. But the good thing is that 9.9% is almost all at the late 5th, early 6th round price tag. So above weight, but above weight, or slightly above weight at the good prices. GM. Bad news for Jalen Royals. I agree. I think there are better late round wide receiver clicks right now than Royals. He was a fun dart throw. Again, another guy Sean was really on. Davis can rip up his Jalen Royals to win Offensive Rookie of the Year tickets there, but pretty good for Mahomes as well. Rashee Rice does go here at 5'7". I was gonna click him at 5'10" if he comes back. He does not. No biggie. Plenty other fish in the sea for us to take. I'm going to do a coffee pour here in a second as well because I saved some. I saved some this morning for you guys. I know how much you like that. All right, let's see here. We are on the clock. Chuba Kamara falls. Igbuka is here. We can do some Igbuka. I also did Pearsall goes at 5'9". That's about the time to go ahead and grab Igbuka. I want to try to rip some of these 0 RB builds here when it comes naturally. I have been doing some RJ Harvey in this range as kind of the anchor RB, but let's grab Igbuka here. Let's grab Igbuka here and have some fun. I forget who it was. Someone on the channel the other day was like, I miss seeing 0 RB drafts on here, man. I remember when you used to draft 0 RB. All right, this is for you, man. Whoever that was. This is for you. This draft is for you. This bud's for you, man. This 0 RB's for you. Cheers, brother. So yeah, other fun news. There was the cut down stuff yesterday. I wrote about it in the Fantasy Life newsletter. I mean, the Jalen Coker thing is just phenomenal right now. He got the double whammy of Hunter Renfrow released and Adam Thielen traded. All right. I said I'd normally take RJ Harvey in the 5th. If RJ Harvey is going to come back to me at 63, hopefully my 0 RB acolytes will still consider taking RJ Harvey at 6'3", part of my 0 RB thesis for this draft, because I am scooping up RJ Harvey there. So we start Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Hurts, Emeka Egbuka, and we come back and grab RJ Harvey at 6'3". Not bad. Not too shabby. All right, let's get a little coffee pour here. Beautiful. Yes, Mike Schopp is going to be a guest today. He's going to swing by around 1. So I'm going to try to squeeze in 2 drafts here. We'll then get Schopp at 1. We'll get Neil Orfield around 145. And then I'm going to hop onto his stream and draft a team with him right after. But I'm feeling good about my pacing. You know, I'm at 1. This is 136. So I'll do 136, 37, 38, 39. I'll do 140 tonight. I'll probably do 2 tomorrow with Brick. That'll get me to 142. And so then I'll have 8 more. I'll have 8 more to do on Friday. I've been lining up some of the guests for that finale as I push to 150. I'm going to have Nez swinging by. I'm going to have, I believe, Andy, 8052, my old pal from Club Top Shot, coming by. Dave, Crusher over at ETR. You guys have seen him on the Deposit Kingdom channels, and he was on After Dark recently. So he's going to do a draft. And then I think Davis is going to close it out with me. Here's my Jake Bobo guy. I was like, who the fuck is this guy always talking about Jake Bobo in my chat? Andrew says, tuned in at the right time for the coffee pour, running pure. I will say yesterday on Off and on the Clock, I cracked. I was saying there, I finally made a purchase for my office. I bought a mini fridge to have down here. I'd been schlepping upstairs to our regular fridge like a dunce for all these years. And I said, all right, enough is enough. I'm going to buy a mini fridge. So I got it packed with some of my favorite seltzers, my Poland spring water, my favorite non-alcoholic beers, all the essentials. But yesterday I did a bottle opener of my Topo Chico seltzer, and it got rave reviews from the chat. I mean, the audio listeners were enthralled by the Foley artist work that I did popping that cap off of a Topo Chico. So it's always nice to expand the drink universe here with the stream. So maybe after this coffee's done, I can treat you guys to a little Topo Chico pop. Let's see here. We got Purple Yosh. Pete, I've been injecting the BR course into my veins. I need the season to get here. Love to hear it. In case you guys missed it on yesterday's Often on the Clock show or on Twitter, John, Nez, and myself have launched an Underdog DFS masterclass. The reviews so far have been awesome. You guys can go check it out here. And there's a promo code in the Deposit Kingdom Discord for 20% off. So if you are going to take the plunge, make sure you take advantage of that promo code. Always happy to answer any questions. And Yosh, I'd love to hear what you're enjoying the most about it right now as we get ready for the start of the season. All right, I am back on the clock here. Let's take a review of the board. Hawkinson dipping a little bit in ranks these days with the Thielen ad. This isn't a huge dip for Caleb Johnson, but I really don't like Caleb Johnson. Let's just grab Jordan Mason. We'll grab Jordan Mason here as my second running back. There's a couple wide receivers I liked here, so I'm going to see if they come back around. I guess I could have played the wide receiver first, potentially, but let's see how this goes. Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown. See, I think I fucked that up. I wanted Keon Coleman. You guys have heard me trying to boost my Coleman exposure. I played that wrong. Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Hurts, Igbuka, R.J. Harvey, and Jordan Mason here. I can just do Pittman instead. Pittman's been a guy that I've been trying to break ties away from Downs to get to. Click Downs at the beginning of the summer and have now been circling back to Pittman. So we'll grab Pittman here as my fifth wide receiver. There is a little Caleb drop here, but I think after adding Mason, I'd rather grab my fifth wide receiver. Man, one thing that's kind of a bummer here as I look at some of my exposures, I'm only at 4.4% Tyler Warren. He was someone I wasn't like hammering at his old price, and now I just feel kind of completely priced out at this new price movement. You know, Tyler Warren at 91.6. You know, Loveland still hanging out at 109. I have a little bit more of him. Doesn't feel great. I do find this price for Warren, as Davis takes him here, to be a little frothy. I'll try to get him at ADP here in these last 10 or so drafts, but I don't think he's someone I'm going to make a priority to boost the bags on. I like him, but I think at this price, like when he's going ahead of TJ Hawkinson, sandwiched in between Kelsey and Hawkinson, that starts to not feel great to me. Steve, we were just talking about it. Rice's value in redraft. Are you talking about like a home league, like a managed league? I mean, it's similar to the Godwin stuff where if you can get Rice at a really extreme discount in a managed league, your home league, like outside of the top 8 or 9 rounds, then it's a no-brainer because you stash him. You can survive the first 6 weeks. I mean, the first 6 weeks, like conceptually, why these suspended guys are such good values in Best Ball Mania is because you don't have the injury risk, right? Some of these guys coming back from injury, like the Ayuk and the Godwin stuff, yes, they're going to have to get back on the field. They're going to have to ramp up. There's going to be a few weeks where they're probably playing limited snaps, et cetera, et cetera. So that timeline can get stretched out. With these suspended guys, they can just hit the ground running right away from a production standpoint. In weeks 1 through 6, weeks 1 through 5, the bye weeks have just started hitting, right? We have the first wave of bye weeks at week 5. So you can survive those first 4 weeks. Your team is the healthiest as it will be all year. You've presumably drafted a bunch of other healthy players around the suspended guy. So even in managed leagues and home leagues, like I love that. Like any arbitrage you can get, because what you're trying to do in manage is just build the most superstar juggernaut starting lineup you can. And one way to do that is to just stash these guys, and then you can bide your time. You can plug those holes earlier in the week and then actually add in, you know, a top 24 wide receiver like Rashee Rice once he comes back. So I'm certainly into stashing those types in managed. All right, we are about to pick again here at 9-10. We got Jalen Hurts, RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason. We got our 5 wide receivers, Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, Emeka Igbuka, and Michael Pittman. We'll see what comes back to us. I would kick the tires on Baker Mayfield at this price, even though he has the same buy as Jalen Hurts. I would add like a late round quarterback, a Daniel Jones, I think would be fine as a QB3 here. But Baker Mayfield at this price, basically around past ADP, I think I would eat the bye week. I think I would eat it here. I guess the question is, do I push it one more time? The Evans drafter is behind me. I kind of like it. Let's, you know what? We'll deal with the bye week, bros. We can figure it out. There's nobody else that I have to have here. I could take Ingram. I don't mind Ingram. I'm so torn. Let's do Ingram. Call as you like. We'll take Baker with Evans. I still have Trevor Lawrence in my back pocket as well with Brian Thomas. So I was okay letting that go. I can also do Bo Nix here as well after grabbing Ingram. And I do really like some of the backdoor stacks with Bo Nix right now. So let's play it that way. So Bo Nix does come back. So we can basically get the similar ADP value, still get the stack, sidestep the double bye week issue. Let's do this with Bo Nix. Let's grab Bo Nix here. So we'll go Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix. We also have RJ Harvey. So we just kind of build out a, dare I say, bigger Broncos bet. Jalen Hurts, Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason, Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, Emeka Egbuka, Michael Pittman Jr., and then Evan Ingram there. Lauren says, is the Rashee stuff official at starting the season or waiting until September 30th hearing? All of the reporting on this right now sounds like the league and Rashee Rice's camp and the NFLPA have agreed on the 6-game suspension to be started in week 1. That's what the reporting's saying. I don't know like how in ink that is, but the reporting is saying it will start in week 1 and that he will be returning in week 7. Kendrick Bourne released here. Interesting. Don't know if that moves the needle for me, but interesting nonetheless. Deal Me In says, I'm new to this channel. Welcome, Deal Me In. You know, I never know this time of year. We do get, on Monday's Best Ball Breakfast, we had almost 1,000 people watching for most of the show. So certainly getting some new people in here, people cramming for their managed league drafts. I am doing a best ball draft, but I'd like to think at this point in the, fantasy life cycle that you're able to glean some good insights to apply to your home league drafts, just like we were kind of talking about the Rashee Rice situation in both best ball and managed. And if you guys are new to Underdog, you can get up to $1,000 deposit match with promo code Pete. I've also been showing this other offer that's available right now to take advantage of new customers. You use promo code Pete, get the deposit match, and then you play $5 and you get $50 in bonus funds there. And we're going to be getting Battle Royale contest dropping very soon, I believe. We also have the Primetime Palooza contest already out for the shorter slates. I mean, it's a great time to be drafting on the Dog app. Going to be very, very fun. Very, very fun. Let's see. What does Charlie say? Pete, you should build a BBM focused on winning the regular season prize. Worthy, Pearsall, Egbuka, etc. It's funny because I think those... I think you can have your cake and eat it too with some of those builds, right? And I think that's what you're hinting at, where you can try to get these guys getting off to fast starts. That's the beauty of those 3 that you just named. You get the potential rookie breakout, year 2 breakout, but you also get the fast start where their touch floor is pretty high without their teammates in the fold. Bingo Bongo says, what round are you slapping JCM in managed? Over on on Ship Chasing, we have slapped him in basically every round. We took him in the 14th, took him in the 12th, took him in the 10th, took him in the 8th. I feel like we have shares of Bill across every price on the board. I think his home league ADP, from what I'm hearing in the ESPN draft applet and where he's going, it's too expensive. I think it's too expensive for what you're getting right now. I don't know. Anything after, pick 100 seems fine for Bill in home leagues, but I just don't even know if you can get that right now. I don't know if you can get that. Tuten goes, where do you get your ideas, Davis? Let's see here. let's put our money where our mouth is with some of these guys. I've been pulling up Eckler into this range. I want to keep increasing my Eckler exposure. Speaking of Bill, Eckler, I'm only at 7.4%. I need to keep getting more Eckler. I still think he's a phenomenal value here at pick 130, especially on a 0 RB team like this, getting some early touches. And again, I think you can have your cake and eat it too with Eckler, where it could be something where he's the lead back, to start the season, but then kind of holds on to that 50-50 split for the majority of the year. Is Ollie Gordon still here? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Again, another guy that I do not have a lot of. We were trying to get him yesterday on Off and On the Clock, and I was just not able to get him before other people did. So another instance where I am light on Ollie Gordon. I'm going to have to pay up. I don't think there's a huge opportunity cost in this range. The other best available running backs on the board, Joe Mixon, probably not going to play this year. Brian Robinson Jr., handcuff. Judkins, not even on a team. Javonte Williams, going to give us 3 weeks of production. Ray Davis, like a quasi handcuff. All right, I'll take Ollie Gordon here, and I'll free roll the scenarios where it's really bad for Achane or Wright is completely dusted. So here's the team so far. Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Hurts, Emeka Egbuka, RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason, Michael Pittman Jr., Evan Ingram, Bo Nix, Austin Eckler, and Ollie Gordon. Where did Bill go in this room? Where's my guy, Bill? Bill went right at pick 100. Bill went right at pick 100. He went before J.K. Dobbins and right after Charbonnet, for all the Bill heads keeping track at home. Alex says, besides just being told to leave, should I take Joe Burrow at 101 in a Superflex league? That's 0.5 per completion. I would not take Joe Burrow at 101 in a Superflex league. If I were to take a quarterback at 101, it would be Lamar or Jayden Daniels. I think both those guys are going to throw for a shit ton of completions this year and give you that extra juice via the rushing floor. That seems a little too frothy for Joe Burrow. Wonky says, have your Egbuka thoughts changed at all with the Godwin non-pup news? Honestly, no. The Egbuka thesis for me has just been like twofold: talent-based in draft capital. I think he's really good. It's an awesome situation. And I think he can ascend that depth chart even without injuries. And then the contingent upside is just a bonus. If Chris Godwin's out 5 to 6 weeks instead of 3 to 4, it's a bonus. To me, the price rise was more just the market realizing like, hey, this guy's going to be a baller. He's going to earn targets right out of the gate. And there are scenarios where he is just earning a large market share alongside a healthy Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Like, I don't think that's a crazy thing. So to me, it's like if, say, Egbuka started going, like, say they announced Chris Godwin was going to be out 6 weeks or something, and all of a sudden Egbuka shoots up to the 4 or 5 turn. Like, to me, that's just double and triple counting like the play already. So as long as he's hovering in this late 5th, early 6th, the Godwin timeline is almost not important to me relative to being in that range. All right, let's see here what we got cooking. We have a 2-4-5-1 build. I could use some tight ends here. I'm going to try to rip in a pretty big Denver team stack. So maybe the play, we're still also in the market for some running backs. Let's go ahead. I missed out on Goddard for the double stack. I'm just going to reach and pull up for Will Shipley. Like, we're saying fuck ADP on this draft today. I mean, I was a little price conscious in the first half, but now I'm just building these teams. Go out, get Eckler, go get Ollie Gordon, go get Will Shipley on a Jalen Hurts team. And let's build the best possible team. The question is, do we push tight end? How much do we push tight end here versus how much do we try to build out some of these other team stacks? I think we could do, I think the prudent move is probably to grab a second tight end here, especially because this will likely be a 3 tight end build. And I don't want to go maybe necessarily 2 uber punts. Let's grab Brenton Strange. He is also paired up with Brian Thomas. So I get another kind of Jag stack without the quarterback. I don't need the quarterback when I have Hurts and Knicks. So we'll get a secondary stack there with Brenton Strange. And then it'll give us kind of max flexibility down the stretch. 2-5-5-2. We can kind of game this out. 4 more picks. And I'm at a 2-5-5-2. I'm done at quarterback. Probably going to add 1 more running back. So I would get to 6. Probably 2 more wide receivers to get to 7. And then probably 1 more tight end to get to 3. So probably looking at a 2-6-7-3 to land this plane. Best Ball Mania draft number 136. Going out and getting our guys, Austin Eckler, Ollie Gordon, Will Shipley to pair with RJ Harvey and Jordan Mason. Yeah, this was the other news. Tim Patrick was traded here to, what was it, the Jags? Kind of an interesting move for them. You know, I thought they were feeling good about their wide receiver depth chart. Obviously, they had Hunter. They have Brian Thomas. De'Ami Brown is expected to be in the 3 wide receiver sets. They've seemed to like Parker Washington over the years, but they clearly feel like they have a void in that kind of downfield, you know, field stretcher type role, like what they were hoping Gabe Davis would have given them last year. That's kind of what I see the Tim Patrick thing as. Tim Patrick's a fine football player. Again, I don't think it really moves the needle for fantasy. Makes me a little less excited to do the like safety pick of De'Ami Brown. De'Ami was like a pretty cozy click for a lot of the offseason of like, this guy's going to run routes. He's going to be tethered to an ascending offense, a solid QB, good contingent value when Hunter's playing defense. If Hunter gets hurt, Brian Thomas. But at this point, there's just way better, more intriguing clicks than De'Ami. And then the Tim Patrick stuff, I think, just kind of slams the door on that being a selection I want to make in my final drafts. All right, 4 picks away here. This really is just a go get your guy, complete free-for-all portion of the draft board now as we pick at 15-10 with this 2-5-5-2. The guy in front of me has 7 wide receivers. I would really like to take the guy that I'm just clicking nonstop. It is Troy Franklin, one of my favorite targets, and the added bonus of getting him stacked up on a Bo Nix team. So we now have Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, Troy Franklin, and Evan Ingram is part of this Denver stack. I was going to keep an eye on Jalen Coker's price rise. He was going to be in the mix, obviously, for me. He goes at 174 to sniper here. Seems like a completely fair price to me. We're going to be looking at 1 more running back, 1 more wide receiver, and a tight end. I could just rip in the triple stack with Bo Nix, which I'm kind of leaning to do right now. There've been a couple other guys I've been entertaining. I guess we could play this one as not. Who is the other guy? I've been wanting to get some more Kendre. Let's just go ahead and grab Kendre. Some of these guys that I'm trying to get exposure to, you can't sit on them for their ADPs. They just go, around round and a half now that they're trendy. So I'll grab Kendre Miller as my last running back. And it's one of those things, like, I don't think Kendre Miller is, like an objectively better pick than, a DJ Giddens or even a Taj Brooks or whatever. But you get 2 benefits. One, his ownership in the contest is going to be a fraction of those guys because he hasn't been drafted all year. And then on top of it, I'm light on those guys. So if I get the double whammy of mixing in some good bets that I'm light on, that the field is also collectively light on, that just seems like a bet I want to be making right now. So I do that with both Ollie Gordon and Kendre Miller in this draft. And I pass on, it was interesting too. I was thinking about Pat Bryant. That triple stack was kind of interesting to me. I did just hop in my second draft here as I am trying to double these up, be as efficient as possible. So this will be 137. I'm going to be picking from the 102. And then after this draft, Mike Schopp will be joining me. Where did Leggett go in this draft? Good question. Leggett went, where is he? Why can't I find him even after searching his name? Oh, there he is. He went at pick 145 at the 12-13 turn. Bingo Bongo says, I think we can stop at RB here. As a best ball bro once said, you are correct. We are stopping. Going to do a wide receiver and a tight end. There's just so many fun picks right now. It's like you let Fannin go, you know. There's one other tight end I like. I maybe could have pushed Kendre and tried to have gotten 2 of the targets. Let's pop over to this other draft. We'll grab should we keep doing some 0 RB stuff? Let's keep doing some 0 RB stuff. You know what? I'm a little light on Jefferson. 5.9%. Aren't you worried, bro, about Adam Thielen? No. We're going to dance around here, smooth out some BBM exposures. No reason for me to be at 5.9% Jefferson. Let's grab him. That's right. Ben says, men with class partake in best ball brunch every now and again. It's true. It's true. All right, let's see how we're going to land the plane here on this 136. Let's see what we're going to do. I was looking at Malik Washington. He was kind of an interesting one there. My guy, Jatavian Sanders goes. I think another slight bump for him, honestly. Just the Thielen stuff, him over the middle. Both him and Coker seem like winners there to me. I think I can do Gesicki here. Yeah, Gesicki at 17.9 feels fine. I'm looking for a third tight end. And I still think he has really nice contingent upside on the Bengals there. Home stretch, get your guys, absolutely the move. That's right. It's just all vibes clicking right now. It's looking at ownership. It's going and getting the guys I want. The problem is do I have a guy I want here at wide receiver to close this out? AD Mitchell as another kind of phantom stack here with Michael Pittman seems good. You could do something more fun. I guess AD Mitchell's pretty fun. AD Mitchell's pretty damn fun, especially with the Royal stuff does seem a little less interesting now. Any other names here that I'm missing, guys? What about Jake Bobo? I think AD Mitchell's the pick here, unless you guys are seeing something that I'm not. I mean, I do. Jalen Noel, I drafted all summer. I still like him in this range, but I'm not feeling inspired. I'm not feeling inspired outside of AD Mitchell, so let's do it. Here's the final team, guys. This is 136. Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix at quarterback. RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason, Austin Eckler, Ollie Gordon, Will Shipley, Kendre Miller at running back. I like that 0 running back room and getting a nice mix of guys that I'm light on. Ollie Gordon, Eckler, Kendre, like all of their, how things have broken for them. Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, Igbuka, Pittman, Troy Franklin, AD Mitchell. That's a jacked up wide receiver room. Definitely don't need to go 7 wide receivers there. Let me make my pick over here on this other side of the board. Let's see. I'm going to grab Trey McBride first. I'm going to grab Trey McBride. Where am I? I was recapping this team. And then Evan Ingram, Brenton Strange, and Gesicki. So basically have 4 different main stacks. The Eagle stack, the Denver stack. Those are Omega stacks. And then we have the 2 Colts pass catchers and the 2 Jags pass catchers. Getting some good correlation there with the Jags and Indy. Jonathan Taylor comes all the way back to me at 3-2. That was who I almost clicked over McBride. And I was like, let me lock up McBride first. Let's do JT here. And we start Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, and Trey McBride. That's hot. That's a hot start. All right. Let's get some closure on this team. Label it, ship it, move on to the next one. Keaton says, why so many drafts? Do you mean like why so many drafts today? Why so many drafts on the year? Why so many drafts just like as an existential thought? Please clarify and I will answer your question. Why so many drafts? Sorry, dude. I just dropped the shipper. Honestly, it would feel super fitting if the winning Best Ball Mania team came from a draft that both Davis and I were drafting separately, but it was my team that won. Davis had to have his version of the stream. A real sliding doors moment. Imagine if it was me. All right, let me label this team and then I can get back to business. Are you on stream right now? Davis being on stream and being in my chat, that's Davis-matic derangement syndrome if I've ever heard it. Go back to your own stream, brother. 827. We're going to call this Best Ball Brunch, which is still BBB. 2673. We'll call this Denver here. Go back to your shanty. All right. We can clear the decks on this one. Let's get the board up over here. Pop this one out. Pop this one out. How many BBMs do you guys have to go? Are you guys maxed? When do you think this fills? We're at 86% right now. I think it'll last over Labor Day weekend. I think it'll definitely last, especially because they keep adding some of these side contests. I'll say Tuesday or Wednesday. That'll be my guess. Did Keaton ever do his follow-up question to why so many drafts? I needed him to clarify. Pete hits 20K subs and starts big balling Davis. I've been big balling Davis way before 20K subs, brother. I'm on 132. One more week, JT. 15 left. Max 2 weeks ago. Ooh. 20 left. Charlie predicting Monday. Could definitely pick up over Labor Day weekend. Stuff can definitely go fast. Chipsy, how's my dinger team looking? I'm pretty sure dead, man. But we can look. We can look for you. All right. Let's see what we want to do here at the 4-5 turn. Keaton, you still didn't answer my question. I'm begging you to clarify your question. Why so many drafts? Should we get some JMO here? Let's get some JMO. Trying to think here. Brees, JMO, Sutton, Walker, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf. My exercise right now is, does this pick spark joy? Does it make me feel something? Ideally, it's a big ADP voller and someone I'm excited about, like Jonathan Taylor in round 1. All right, let's put my money with where my mouth is here. Oh, Rashee Rice already went. Jeez, I was going to say, yeah, give me Rashee Rice. All right, Rashee Rice went mid-4th. That seems fine. We could scoop up the Dipperino on Brees, or we could keep grabbing wide receivers. Let's play Jalen Waddle. I want to build out like a fade Tyreek Dolphins stack. Like, play the scenario out. If Tyreek Hill goes off the deep end, if he gets hurt, if he whatever it is, what does that look like for the Dolphins offense? I'm gonna have that idea in the back of my head here. Justin Jefferson, Trey McBride, Jonathan Taylor, Jameson Williams, and Jalen Waddle to start this draft. Okay. Keaton says, sorry, I was microwaving lunch. See, I know I throw you guys out of your routine with this start time. Truth be told, I was going to just do 10 a.m. It's nice when I always am consistent with my best ball breakfast starts, but April had her 2.5-year-old doctor's appointment today at 10. So there was no chance in hell I was not going to stream drafts for that. I'll show you guys a very cute photo of April at the doctor's office today, though, if you guys want your daily dose of cute. Let me get this downloaded to my desktop here. Here's April at her doctor's appointment earlier today with her crocodile. Crushed it. It was the first time we'd gone in to her pediatrician where, before when they do her height and weight, it's laying on like the changing table for the babies. She graduated to the big leagues today. She got to stand on the regular scale, do the regular measurement for her height. She was very excited about that. And she was very excited. No shots. No shots today. It was just height and weight, typical checkup. She did great. She did great. And we'll see how we do in this draft. Justin Jefferson, Trey McBride, Jonathan Taylor, Jamison Williams, and Jalen Waddle. No streaming and drafting at the doctors like a psychopath. You know, never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind. Another overzet better than me at UD. No, man, I'm going to have her take that Underdog Masterclass course. You can take the course too. I'm telling her, hey, we're not reading Harold and the Purple Crayon tonight. We're reading Nez's breakdown of how to win a dog bowl seat, baby. That's the fairy tale we're reading tonight. Jesus. Are you going to slapsinate her? Thank you for this reminder, Easy. Today, this afternoon, it is loaded and ready to go. I'm going to post it at like 2:30, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's been in the hopper, but I was just trying to let some of these videos breathe. We had Best Ball Bros drop on Monday. We're going to drop it today. So Truth Serum, 27 bold takes. Easy wins the prize for the most creative filming location for his take. Looking forward to you guys seeing that. 27 scorching hot takes from all of your favorite analysts, best ball touts, people within the fantasy sphere. And again, that premise is you take some of that truth juice and then you share a take that you've otherwise been too afraid to share. Too afraid to share. Let's see, 6'11". 6'11". Who do we want to do here? We didn't get Rashee Rice, so let's grab Jordan Addison. Maybe we can set up this Minnesota double as well. Jonathan Taylor at running back, Justin Jefferson, Jamison Williams, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Trey McBride. So we could do a couple things here. We could just go all in on the Vikings, or we could add more of a Detroit piece. Why don't we do a Detroit piece here? And so then we'll play this game stack, David Montgomery and JMO, and then we'll play the other side from Minnesota. JMO speeds the game up. David Montgomery punching in the week 17 tutties. And then Jefferson and Addison playing catch-up mode in the dome, week 17. Who says no? Who says no? Appreciate that, Easy. We have been busy this month. Luckily, a lot of them have been projects I've been like working on in the background. Luckily, have a ton of help. Like all of the editing help on the Best Ball Bros video, massive. My guy Sal spearheads the Truth Serum thing, reaching out to people, getting those organized for me. My guy Chris editing all these videos, turning them around. It's a well-oiled machine, but I'm glad that you guys are enjoying all of that content. Crutch is trying to ask where Easy was for his video. No, not the driving range. More high testosterone than that. Keaton is excited to watch the DFS masterclass. Love to hear it. Yeah, been getting good feedback on that. People really enjoying the roundtable specifically, which are essentially just kind of like long form podcast episodes about all of these individual topics. So if you like listening to John, Nez, and myself shoot the shit on the slate specific stuff and on podcasts, then you will enjoy the more strategic, evergreen focused roundtables in the Underdog Masterclass. The what says, what does April think of Debo this year? I kid you not. Like when I talk about football, she knows what football players look like. She knows what football is, but the one team she knows is Debo. And she will still ask me what's happened to Debo. And it's been perfect because there have been a lot of things that have transpired this offseason. At points, she said, what happened to Debo? And I'm like, hey, he just got moved to the Commanders. He's got a new change of scenery later in the summer. What happened to Debo? Well, honey, everyone says he's overweight. Everyone says he can't run anymore. And then recently she asked me, hey, what happened to Debo? And I said, well, guess what? He could be the new goal line back on the Commanders. They traded Brian Robinson. I said, honey, Debo Samuel jet sweeps at the goal line. Who says no? So the saga of Debo, it is not over. That's the goal this year. Win a battle royale with Debo Samuel in the lineup. So I can ask April, or I can respond to April when she asks me what happened to Debo. I'll tell you what happened to Debo, honey. He won Daddy a battle royale. Guillerme says, how is the bash going to work tonight? Wondering what time I need to be online for the draw. So it's going to work like any other bash, except instead of doing one drawing at the top of the show, I'm going to draw 6 names. The 6 winners, same as usual. DM me, give me your contact information. I will send you the link. You will be drafting in the order they are drawn. So the first name will be drafting rounds 1 through 3. The second winner, rounds 4 through 6, etc. You can hop in the StreamYard whenever you want. Doesn't bother me if you want to come in there and get ready, but you will come on stage when it is your round to draft. All right, I'm back on the clock here. Should we do another Michael Pittman team? Another Michael Pittman team, or we could play the Dobbins side of things. We could get our quarterback. Let's grab Pittman here. Pittman at 95. Continue to grab him. I think he's a good ad, to help me early season when Jordan Addison is missing. The real dilemma here is, do I want to play the Kyler stuff? I also have the Tua angle and the McCarthy. It's probably smart to lock up the one quarterback here just to make sure that I don't miss out on any kind of QB positional runs, which can certainly happen when you're on this side of the board. So let's just lock up Kyler. And I still would be fine doing a 3 quarterback build with McCarthy and Tua if I want to go that route. But I think this gives me just a little bit more breathing room. Justin Jefferson, Trey McBride, Jonathan Taylor, Jamison Williams, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, David Montgomery, Michael Pittman Jr., and Kyler Murray. How many underdog drafts have you finished so far overall? You can see right here. I'm nowhere at the volume. It's like Davis pulls up his exposures on Swolecast. I think he was over 1,000 drafts deep. 314 in the post-draft contest. I'll end up at 145 eliminators. I missed out getting 5 in. I hopped in all the slow drafts, and then I was like, I'll keep 5 for fast drafts. Just do a few more fast drafts eliminators, and they all filled. So I'm going to be at 145 there. So I don't know. I think you add this all up, it's probably, if I can do math, probably around 500 drafts this summer. It's a little more than I did last year because I didn't do slow drafts really last year. And there were no big contests that I was trying to max. So yeah, my numbers will be up a little bit this year because of the eliminators. Yeah, so Best Ball Bash tonight's at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the randomizer with Jacob will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. 3,000 drafts. I gotta save some energy for these BRs, baby. I mean, I got to get my 150s in for the week 1 BR. Got to be maxing my side contests. I got to keep some energy and some powder on the sidelines for BR season. Donovan says, can anyone explain why Pittman goes over downs most of the time now? Well, in this draft, he went 8 picks after Josh Downs. I think it's just kind of mixed, and I think it's there's a lot of factors that go into it. There's probably lingering hesitation about Josh Downs' hamstring. There's people like me who are trying to balance their portfolio. All offseason, I drafted Josh Downs ahead of Pittman over and over and over again. So I'm balancing that out. I think there's team-specific needs. If I'm loaded at wide receiver, like look at this team here from the 10 hole. They go Neighbors, Pickens, Hunter, Reed, Downs. I guess with the Reed stuff being kind of shaky, maybe this kind of negates the point I'm trying to make, but I think you can take the bigger swing. I think Josh Downs is a better pure talent than Pittman, but on a team like this with Jordan Addison, where I would like to still have that base at wide receiver, I think Pittman is still a really, nice cost-adjusted bet. Did I lose out? So who the fuck took McCarthy? Who the fuck took McCarthy? Why? All right. I'm going to panic click Tuten. I'll panic click Tuten. Why? JJ McCarthy 1 pick before me to a Hawkinson, Aaron Jones drafter. You really had to do that. You had Lad McConkey. You couldn't just draft Justin Herbert there, brother. You couldn't just do Justin Herbert. You had to do Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, JJ McCarthy. You had to do it to me. This guy had to protect. I thought the integrity protectors were so focused on Joe Burrow stacks. Man, I am tilted. All right, I'll just grab Austin Eckler again. Man, that really upsets me. All the tight ends were wiped. There were no tight end fallers. There were no running back fallers. I don't need to blow a 6 wide receiver spot on the slot Demon or Keenan there. And I could have Goff was gone. That was tilting. That was really tilting. Oh, my lights auto changing, thinking it's time for the bash. My lights don't know that the schedule changed. Man, that didn't feel fun. That did not feel fun. This guy, I mean, look, I'm as big a fan as anybody about making big team bets in here. I'm just I guess he still gets Herbert. I'm just tilting. Just let me tilt. I'm just going to tilt a little bit. I was so excited about that JJ McCarthy double stack there. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Meet me in Altoona, bud. What's your name? What's your name, bro? KHAL Django? Django Unchained? Are you in the chat? Chipsy, have you been beating an anti-Jordan Mason draft? I can't keep track of your takes. Chip, all I've heard you do is hate on players. Who do you actually like? Chip, give me. I've heard you hate on Bill. I've heard you hate on Jordan Mason. Who do you actually like? Let's turn the tables. It's so easy to hate in this world. I can build a bear case for every fucking player in the goddamn pool. Tell me someone you like, Chipsy. After pick 100, give me a player you actually like. Trey Palmer claimed off of waivers by the Saints. Woke up pissed off. And now he's going to be even more pissed off when he figures out who signed him. Who is the guest coming up next? It's none other than Mike Schopp, the voice of Buffalo Bills Radio and the host of ADP Chasing. Mike Schopp joins me to draft a Best Ball Mania team. Okay, you're part of the Austin Eckler army. Then you must be very pleased with my draft so far. You had to have loved that last draft. Aren't you still a bit of an Eagles homer? I do an Eagle stack and take Austin Eckler? You should be J-O-ing to that draft, brother. Am I really sassy today? I guess I am a little bit. All right, I'm not risking any tilt at quarterback here. I'm just going to get Tua here first, and then we can figure it out. Let's get Tua here first and figure it out. Michael Penix goes, Ray Davis, I'm back on the clock. Do I grab the Samson slide or do I set up like a backdoor stack with Bryce Young? Samson at 146 feels nice. It does seem like they're a candidate. I feel like Quinshon Judkins news is imminent. They released Pierre Strong yesterday. There was a quote from, I don't know, was it Stefanski or something? It was something about saying like, we have 2 backs on our roster, but like help is coming. It was fairly cryptic in a, ominous kind of way, as if something was about to happen. I still think Dylan Sampson at 146 is good, but I would not be shocked if they're like, yeah, we just traded for Tank Bigsby or whatever. Colin says, honestly thought the JJ pick is valid. I just told you it was fine, that I'm allowed to tilt. I'm allowed to tilt having my stack sniped. If I am just a stoic king here through these drafts on stream, this would not be a very entertaining stream for you to watch. Just me here. I guess he stole my stack. I guess we can just pivot to a running back at this point. We're all going to die anyways. It's fine. I can draft Tua Tagovailoa 2 rounds later. And in a real pinch, I can take Danny Dimes in the last round. We are all but specks of dust floating through a giant galaxy. You and I, like all of our ancestors and all of our descendants, will eventually turn into dust that will also continue to rotate on this planet. Take 8.3% of every player. Nothing matters. You think you snipe me. I am unsnipeable. I am stoic. I am a rock. I am nonplussed. I am impervious to your actions in this draft room. All I can control is what I can control. When I am on the clock, I am in control. When I am not on the clock, I am not in control. All right, let me make this pick and then I'll bring Mike Schopp on. That was very meditative and calming for me there. What do I want to do here? I want to start getting guys that I want. I want Malik Washington, and I don't really care about the price right now. Tua double stack to Jalen Waddle and Malik Washington. If I was going to get deprived of my JJ McCarthy stack, Lord knows I'm getting this other stack. Let's see here. What do we want to do? Should we do a tight end? Let's do Chig. I've been pretty excited about Chig. Trey McBride with Chig. Kyler, Tua. We'll grab Chig here as our tight end too. All right. While I'm wrapping up this draft, let me go ahead and bring my guest up. He can help me say stoic. There he is. All right, man. Someone said I was sassy today, and I wanted them to see what it would be like if I just completely lacked personality during a draft, and I was completely stoic about everything. And honestly, it was like very relaxing for me.
Am I the perfect guy then to come on and show you what that looks like?
I mean, that's why I love listening to you on the radio on ADP chasing, because you're a very soothing. You truly have a voice for radio. I have a nasally, voice for podcasting. I guess I don't even know what my voice would be good for. Not this.
I'm always fascinated by you and your life, and only recently did I think I learned that you did improv. And I thought last night that came through. And in that video, it's a tour de force, especially.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, all the Best Ball Bros video is heavily scripted, but it is fun getting to play those characters, and the most fun playing your friends as characters. That's the ultimate there. But how are you doing, man? Glad we could sync up for a draft here. I'm just wrapping up this draft here, and then we will hop in one of our own. But things going good on your front?
I'm doing great. Is my setup, this is always a challenge for me. Like, I feel like I'm maybe choppy. Do I sound and look okay to you?
So your audio sounds good. It's coming through clean, but your video is extremely choppy. It's like very freeze framed, glitching around like this.
Let me just give me 2 minutes and I'll just wing it and move and we'll try it again.
All right. Sounds good. You're good, man. Yep.
All right, thanks. We
will hold down the fort here. Let's see here. I got to make sure that I'm going and getting some of my other targets here. We got a 2-5-6-2 for the audio listeners. I should have recapped my team when I was in Zen mode. Kyler Murray, Tua at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Bashal Tuten, Austin Eckler, and Dylan Sampson at running back. 6 wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Jamison Williams, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman, and Malik Washington. Trey McBride and Chig at tight end. Pretty balanced here. I think I'd like to get a third quarterback. How many picks do we have left? We have 3 more picks left. One of them is going to be at 215. So we got to save that for a real shitter down there. Yeah, audio was perfect there. We can ask Mike the Buffalo question when he comes back. How much coke you take today, you cokehead? Yeah, man. I do feel really good. I got to check in on my eliminator exposures because I've been clicking the hell out of Coker in those slow drafts. The combo of getting this news bump and Thielen trade and Renfro release coupled with the week 14 bye for Carolina in the eliminator, it's so good. He goes 157 in this draft. 157. So I didn't even have a chance to take him when I reached up for Malik Washington there. All right. I will grab my guy, Troy Franklin. It's like Troy Franklin in every draft. I think he's mispriced by like 30 picks. We will just continue to click him. This is what's so fun about like these late drafts and why on one hand, I was like, Jesus, I wish I didn't have to stream, 15 straight hours this week to get these in. On the other hand, I'm just going to lock up Daniel Jones here as my third quarterback. On the other hand, to be able to catch up on players, like the fact that I went from not drafting Troy Franklin at all for the entire summer to being at 11.1% in BBM, that's what this is all about. That's what gets me going. All right. Let's see if we got Schopp here. You back? Better than ever?
I hope so. It really
would sound good.
Wouldn't really be an appearance of mine if there wasn't some glitch.
Yeah. What is because I presume, do you ever broadcast from home, or when you're doing radio, are you always in the studio?
I'm almost always in, and I'm headed there now, but I'm still home today. And I'm just trying to find the sweet spot in this house. Earlier, I moved into the room behind me because of my dog, who sometimes barks not at randomness. And I was hoping to avoid that. You might get a little taste of Margot here today. So
okay.
I'm almost always in, during the pandemic, I really sort of took comfort in that. I liked being able to go in. My partner liked being home. So we worked it out that way for a couple of years. But now he comes back in and it's more like normal, more like it used to be.
Does at the studio, like, are there like auxiliary spaces where you could do some streaming there?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was working for ESPN 22 years ago, I would often I had the Saturday night overnight shift for a little while, and I would usually do that show from my studio here.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go to Bristol, midnight to 6 or whatever that shift was. I would usually be, in Buffalo.
Well, how far is your commute to the studio?
15 minutes.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, like, why don't you just make that your permanent streaming, setup? It sounds like a good setup. You get that hardwired connection. You get the nice studio backdrop. It sounds perfect.
I know I could. I thought about doing that today, but now I have this Ethernet cord, which others told me was vital to my not dropping off. But on ADP chasing, I used the Ethernet cord and I dropped off twice. Even my son, who's 15, the absolute go-to source for anything technical, like how should I set this up? He couldn't figure it out. So
wow,
we're going to go through the entire offseason still a little bit baffled.
Yeah, well, you know what? You press onward. Luckily, at least within our universe, you are a host on a show that has a very low bar to clear as far as internet connection and all of those bells and whistles that, a typically well-produced show would require. You're in the right spot.
It adds to the character, the texture of the show. I think that's my excuse. In fact, like the term thought leader gets used. I don't think of myself as a thought leader. I take my cues from guys like yourself and more the experts in the field. I'm a thought provoker. So my contribution to the space this year was on that one fateful day, no Pat, canceled flight, no Davis for some reason. It's just me and Jacob, and everything's about to go sideways with the stream. But at the beginning of the show, I asked him, Jacob, it's just you and me here. Can I ask a question? I'm embarrassed to ask the whole group. What does slappy mean? And he had an answer at the ready. And 2 weeks later, we had shorts, we had everything. It's become, you describe it, whatever that has become.
It's now, hang on, just to let you know, I hopped in our draft. I just have to make one pick here, and then we're going to be picking at 103. I need to make my final selection here. The running backs got wiped. We can do Jalen Knoll. Still one of my faves here. I don't see anything else I need to do. All right, just real quick here. We are on the clock at 103. CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Barkley, Jefferson. You got a favorite?
Lamb.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to quickly recap this team for the audio listeners so they have some closure, and then we'll get back to talking about ship chasing, seals, and draft number 137 with you. Kyler Murray, Tua, Daniel Jones. Never forget how tilted I was when I got sniped on JJ McCarthy, but then I went full zen and proved that I wasn't actually tilted. Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Bashal Tuten, Austin Eckler, and Dylan Sampson, Justin Jefferson, Jamison Williams, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman Jr., Malik Washington, Troy Franklin, and Jalen Knoll, and then Trey McBride and Chig Okonkwo at tight end. Would have really have liked McCarthy on that team, but we will survive. But yeah, I was going to say, Show, there's been some incredible moments in ship chasing history. Obviously, Pat sweating and winning, 2 million. But I think the seal moment in Jacob's definition is now up there with the show that Gretch, Pat, and Beimfor and I did talking about zero RB. And it just like completely altered the ADPs in the puppy and kind of made zero RB the hot topic of conversation that year. I think the seal explanation and the blind seal thing that set off 1,000 bits, I think that's up there in the pantheon of ship chasing moments.
The fact that apparently it's true even adds to it. Like, you could tell a story like that, right? Oh, blind seals just sort of randomly come up with a term that you use to define, whatever kind of drafter. But the fact that that's actually real, which I've never actually looked up, but that you had British Columbian seals going blind, hoping for food to fall from the sky into their mouths is a real thing. And what you guys do so brilliantly is turn that into something bigger. So it's lovely.
It was something else. It was something else. Jacob is a national treasure. He is going to be on, and I say national treasure.
International treasure. He's an international treasure.
We're not going to claim him. But he is going to be on the randomizer finale tonight. So you're getting the full dose of ADP chasing today. Davis Maddock in the chat, Mike Schopp on the stream, and Jacob on the randomizer. We'll see if we can get Karain involved. What's your draft kind of to-do list looking like here as we enter the home stretch?
What I remember from 2 years ago when you banged out the end of the 150 is one draft you did with Cooter Doodle. And, you're sort of like back in your chair. We're almost done. And she said, can we just take Garrett Wilson? It might have been at 103. Like, we can just do something weird. This is the time of year where you can do weird things. I'm wondering about Jackson or Allen at 3-3 because I have almost none of either guy. And if you didn't either, this could be a chance to do something different.
I love it. We are on the clock here. Chase Brown, Jacobs. We could go tight end with McBride, Higgins, Tyreek. What do you like?
I think if we want to do a quarterback, we should not take McBride. So either of your favorite running backs there, or even
you pick. This is what you want.
Chase Brown.
All right, let's do Chase Brown here. He does slide a little bit. I've seen him going, early second in some of these drafts this week. So we'll grab him at 22 to pair with CeeDee Lamb, and then we can try to get an elite quarterback. I mean, I will say, obviously we didn't have time to hash it out, but I have no problem going wide receiver, tight end, quarterback at the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got the bye week. Bros are going to be on us already. Two week 10s. But
oh, wow.
I was looking at exposures preparing to be with you, and I'm like, okay, well, how bad is it? And it's Allen is at 4.3%. Jackson is 4.9. Burrow is 3. I mean, Burrow's not, to me, on the same tier. But, I mean, I don't have those guys. I've got lots of Justin Fields and Drake May. All the, those guys I can handle.
Yeah. Who do you want to do? Lamar and Josh. I have literally 6.7% of each.
I would take Jackson.
Okay, let's do it. This guy, the voice of Buffalo Bills radio, says he wants to grab an elite tight end. I say it's a coin flip, exposure coin flip, ADP coin flip, and he goes away from his guy. Speak on that.
I have been getting beat by Josh Allen since he walked in the door in this town in terms of fantasy. And I mean, I'll write a book someday if I live long enough on just what it was like to talk about him pre-draft. And here was Jackson. I had a Heisman vote. I voted for Jackson twice. I mean, he won once, and then I think Mayfield might have won the second time. Anyway, these two guys are linked. Their NFL debuts were in the same game. We've got 2 playoff games now, and they're both – Aaron Schatz has them as the 2 best teams in the Super Bowl era over a 5-year span to never make the Super Bowl. Baltimore and Buffalo these last 5 years. Amazing how similar the paths are. I just still don't trust the Bills' weapons. And Allen has overcome that by, 10, 12, 15 rushing touchdowns a year. He has more rushing touchdowns in his career than O.J. Simpson or Thurman Thomas. I mean, that's incredible. He's not even 30. So eventually that slows down. I'm not predicting that happens this year, but I just don't like anybody he's got to throw to. And I think Baltimore's receiving core is a little bit underrated.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It's funny you have that, right? Because the take you just had for fantasy, wasn't that what got Brandon Beane mad at all of you guys on Buffalo radio? Because you guys kept talking about, like, let's get some weapons in here. Let's get a real wide receiver. And he came in and basically almost accused you guys of being like fantasy pilled in the way you were talking about the offense. And he said, hey, it's no big deal. We're good. Was that the gist of it?
Yes. At one point, he literally said, it isn't fantasy football. And I wasn't on the line. It was our morning hosts who were on the line with him that he was mad at. But it's really kind of all of our takes. And I got on the air that afternoon. I'm like, what does fantasy football have to do with it? We're not trying to, argue that there should be one concentrated weapon or two that win us our fantasy leagues. That's not the point. Give us more credit than that. He was super hot, and he did all kinds of media damage control that week. He went with Tyler Dunn, another Buffalo area guy, golongtd.com. And he basically said, how can anybody say I haven't addressed wide receiver? I just signed Joshua Palmer. And for me, that was the line of the year. Like, just, okay. I mean, if Joshua Palmer is going to catch more than 40 passes, it'll be the second time in his career he's done that. He's got Allen. That's what we always say about these dubious receiver candidates is that, Elijah Moore's never had a good quarterback. Now he has Josh Allen. All right. How many catches is that?
And it is funny too, because if you actually could untangle the thing about fantasy, it's like, hey, Billy, we draft Josh Allen in the early third, often the first quarterback off the board, despite having the worst weapons of any of the top 5 quarterbacks in fantasy. It's not a fantasy thing. We're still taking this guy. We're just saying Josh Allen could be a second round pick if you actually got him an alpha wide receiver.
Right.
Rashee Rice goes at 44. I've been keeping my eye on him, been trying to just slurp the tippity top of the dipperino on him before his price rises, but haven't been able to get that today post news. I know you love Henderson. He does go here. Breece Hall, JMO, Sutton, Kenneth Walker, choose your own adventure. Like anyone in this range is valid.
I would take Jameson Williams because a series of quote safe receivers are to follow. So if you look at that list right there on the screen, that's the kind of the definition, starting with Sutton, who goes the next pick. Give me the ceiling with Williams. I don't love Henderson. I was just throwing out names. I mean, there's a lot of noise in those sometimes in those main event rooms, and I just wanted to give out ideas. And once I saw Davis, when I said Henderson, once I saw Davis's head tilt like this, then I knew we had something.
That's hilarious. It's basically even though I don't have conviction, or actually, let's make this pick here. Breece Hall comes back to the 5th. DJ Moore, Devontae, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Chuba Hunter.
If you don't mind the structure, I'm fine with Hall.
Yeah.
Because I think he's, too cheap.
I will say here, so just the way I am, I truly am not worried about structure until 6, 7. I'm willing, whatever the board wants to give us or whatever lean you have, we can make a 3 running back start work. We can make an elite quarterback, elite tight end, wide receiver start work. I'm never too concerned about structure at this juncture.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned the thing about maybe having drafted McBride. Talking about exposures, this has never happened to me, but I was just sort of preparing for today, and my top 2 tight ends are McBride and Bowers. And it's a little bit unsettling. And you mentioned on your, on this stream earlier, how I think something to the effect of, man, you do that. Even in FFPC drafts, you do that. And then you get to a certain point of the draft. I really would love one of these, Harold Fannin or one of these younger sort of upside tight ends, but you almost, maybe you disagree, but if you're investing in Bowers or McBride, you kind of don't really want to do that, I think. And I feel like there are ranges, what is it, round 13, 14, where tight end is almost always the value pick, but you did Bowers or McBride already.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that I still like to remain flexible in those spots. And that I think is the trap too, when you're drafting all summer, is we collectively are pretty good at spotting these value pockets and what a quote unquote optimal build is. Hey, this is the range where you should be taking wide receiver. This is the sweet spot, for tight end and stuff. But then that can also result in almost hyper specific portfolio decisions where it's just you are drafting the same version of the same team over and over again. That's why I like the funnest thing for me about drafts. And I do actually think that it's optimal for building a portfolio is like letting those first 5 rounds come to you. Doesn't mean you can't have player takes. You can't go get your guys or whatever, but being open to what the room gives you and then saying, I can build the best structure for this. And sometimes it's going to push me in unique directions outside of my comfort zone. And it might force me like, hey, I don't like taking wide receivers in round, from pick 100 to 150. Sometimes I'm going to have a build where I'm having to take Rashad Bateman, the slot demon, and Joshua Palmer. And it's like, hey, Brandon Beane, don't steer me wrong with this Joshua Palmer pick. You got to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's right. And it's good to remember that being pushed out of your comfort zone is probably a good thing. When you're drafting so many teams, you want to make sure you're not sort of empty on almost anybody. I mean, Jacob is interesting for how he talks about certain players, their names never come up on my screen because he's just sort of ranked them so low. I think maybe Calvin Ridley was one of these guys or DJ Moore. But I don't know. It's a little bit scary to completely eliminate a guy like what's Ridley going to – he could get 130 targets. I don't know.
Your old guy Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, both look good to me here. You could grab DeAndre Swift or Pacheco. What do you think?
Judy.
I dig
Never got to do some of that, right? That was the Jameson Williams logic. Somebody that you can trust, more of a baseline. Is that right with Judy? The longer we go with Flacco, the better.
I think so. And honestly, I don't know. I think Dylan Gabriel can throw the ball to Jerry Jeudy. I'm not too worried about it. In a perfect world, like Joe Flacco plays, with his hair on fire for 17 weeks and just gets us like these 400-yard passing games and all this. I think Jeudy can rack up a shit ton of targets with either of those quarterbacks. So I'm good with Jeudy. I've been drafting him. I'm slightly over here, 10.4%. So we have Lamar, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, CeeDee Lamb, Jameson Williams, Jerry Jeudy. Back on the clock, DeAndre Swift sliding a bit. Pacheco still here. Myers potentially on the trade block. Laporta, if you want to set up a Detroit double stack, what do you think?
Ooh. You like Reed?
I always like Reed. Yeah. I mean, I don't love that he's still at a walking boot and probably going to be pretty limited week 1, but I love the player.
It's not too early, like half a round, and Judy gives us sort of a floor. Lamb, our bet is he's just elite, of course. And I don't know, one of these years, yes or no, one of these years, a Matt LaFleur team is going to have to lean into their weapons. I mean, it's just always the boring running back season like Jacobs. They're good, but they're not great. He's been there a long time now. Do you believe in Jordan Love or don't you? Do you believe in Love? If you believe in Love, then one of these years, go get it. And I think Reed is at worst their second best guy. Jacobs is older. Come on, Green Bay. It's a tough division. Act like you want to win it. Act like you want to get to the top. I mean, just too conservative. Their defense has been maybe a little bit too good. They play really slow, but they did with Rodgers. I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm with you. I've had to, temper my own enthusiasm for Jayden Reed. He's a guy I was super excited to draft last year. He, one of my biggest weeks on Battle Royale last year were both 2 teams finished in the top 7 that were Jordan Love to Jayden Reed stacks on a week no one wanted to play those 2. I love Jayden Reed. I'm biased. I actually have a case study in the Underdog Masterclass on that team, and it's about the section of moving on late information. Because that particular week, Jordan Love was questionable all week and no one was drafting him. Overnight, Schefter says he's going to play. No one's drafting this Love Reed stack, hammered that and all of them. And then 7 of the top 10 teams had that stack. So that is both a promo for the Underdog Masterclass and also confirming for you, I'm never going to say no to Jayden Reed. He's a player that I just qualify as slappy status on. Like, I don't think objectively about him. I just like him too much.
Was he outplayed by Keon Coleman at Michigan State? Maybe was that a thing?
That was a weird one, dude. And one of the, I'm curious your take on Keon Coleman, because he's someone I've been trying to click more. He's still he was one of the youngest rookie wide receivers in the league last year. It was him, Troy Franklin, Xavier Worthy, and Malik Neighbors. Those were the young guys. And I don't know, man. I think he could be set up for a really nice breakout and could be the guy that lets Brandon Beane off the hook with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's right. First pick of the second round last year. I think they should have every organizational as he goes, incentive to make that work. Kincaid hasn't worked yet. 2 years, really. They can't justify that as a first round pick. Coleman, I think, is a pretty good bet in this range. We don't get to get him.
I was talking about my Tyler Warren exposure being very light. So I'm into him as a click here. I'm trying to think if there could certainly justify one of the running backs if you like that. I don't see a ton at wide receiver here. What do you think?
I'm fine with Warren. And I think maybe this is a better setup for the turn.
Yeah.
Although, what about Kelsey with the Rice news?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I was talking about that. Like, to me, it's not a bump to any of the pass catchers, really. And if anything, it was best case scenario for Rice. Like, the scenarios I would get excited about Kelsey is if I knew Rice was going to be out the second half of the season. Then I'm like, holy shit, they're going to have to rely on Kelsey underneath. You start getting him ramped up for the playoffs. Like, yeah, sign me up. But now you're going to have Rashee Rice, who I think can assume that role week 7 through 17. So the Kelsey stuff isn't really that different for me.
Love Charbonnet here. Love Charbonnet.
Let's do it.
I drafted in Kentucky over the weekend. Kentucky in Indiana, actually, I should say. It was in Indiana. The Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championships that are held in Indiana. And bumped Charbonnet to round 7 in my first draft. And every other one I was in, he went in round 7. Just upside. They're going to be a run-heavy team. I think they have to be.
Yeah. So here's the team so far with Schopp. We got a 1-3-4-1. We grab CeeDee Lamb, Chase Brown, get our quarterback Lamar Jackson in round 3, come back, get Jamison Williams. We slurp that Dipperino on Breece Hall in the 5th, Jerry Jeudy in the 6th, Jayden Reed in the 7th, Tyler Warren come on down in the 8th, and Zach Charbonnet in the 9th. Yeah, it's like I've struggled with Charbonnet a little bit just because I think he's priced expensive relative to some other really clean handcuff situations. Like, I think you can go as far down to Tyler Algier. Obviously Charbonnet, a better pass catcher, I think, than Algier. But it's also like, man, you're paying like a 4-round premium on a handcuff because I don't know, like we've also seen Tyler Algier as the starting running back. So that's kind of my issue with it. And yet it's such a clean bet, 3-down skill set, no other running backs on the roster. And Kenneth Walker's already a little nicked up heading into the season.
Right. I mean, you can't argue with the price difference. Atlanta just lost their right tackle, which was a guy, McGarry is his name, who was integral to a lot of their success with Robinson. I don't think there's any more question about whether they will mitigate Bijan Robinson's usage like there was 2 years ago. And I think Seattle, that's very much a question, as you said. So I could see Charbonnet just being the better bet. They have to be functional as an offense for that to work. But if they are, then I think there's that's a great pick for me in that range.
For sure. Yes, we got that 1-3-4-1. We got, some good quarterback flexibility. Obviously Dak goes, but don't need to force that on a Lamar team. We could entertain Goff if he comes back. Looking at the board, there's no Lions behind us. I guess there's David Montgomery, so maybe they would do that, but that could be a point to try to push Goff around the turn. Love did go, so no Love and Reed stack. So just a little dynamic to keep an eye on here.
I would have wanted Bateman. He just went.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because we obviously missed out on Andrews. Andrews went at pick 85. We could have pulled up Zay Flowers to 51. That would have been our only crack to get him because he goes 60 here. Then you miss out on Bateman at 114. Like, that's kind of the tricky thing about Lamar, right? Like, the ADPs don't actually line up that well for a stack. Do you like Mims here? He's kind of interesting on this build. Running
I like how you're talking about the quarterback too, because we're going to see a Lamar Jackson naked team here. So if you wanted to do that, even May, because you can backstack him.
Let's do Goff. I mean, I think if we have JMO, and we're going to play that massive breakout for him going to the next level, we can do that. Tesla becomes a really fun target now on Goff stacks. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you get to a point. This is why I don't draft Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen ever, because, Allen's a little bit easier with those receivers who went a couple of rounds later than where you would have had to take Flowers. I think that's early for Andrews.
Yeah.
So that would have been one move. But that's why I don't do it. And it's late in the game here.
But again, like I don't get bent out of shape about not being able to stack him up here. This looks like a running back pick here. Do you like it? Tuten. All right. Just keep on tooting, baby. Arf, arf, arf. Let's do it.
Peter.
Let's do it.
36%.
That's your Tuten exposure?
Yeah. I have been Tuten-pilled, as the community would say. 36%. How did that happen? Who is Bashal Tuten? I mean, how did that happen? 36%.
You know what? It's I think I have to amend. People ask me, they said, Pete, do you have a one Dolphins in every draft for this year? I had that 2 years ago when it was Achane as a rookie, Jeff Wilson Jr. and Mostert and Achane smash. I said this year it's the Jags. I said one Jags running back in every draft. I'm sticking to that. Unfortunately, that one running back is Bashal Tuten every time. I'm not actually mixing it up too much. I have been taking Tank and Eliminator. That's the streamer thing. I actually prefer Tank and ETN in the Eliminator.
Yeah, I like that. Right. Week 1, I learned that from you.
That's right. But yeah, back on the Ravens stuff. Like obviously Lamar is going to smash on the ground. He can spread the ball around a ton. I like Zay. I like Bateman. I like Andrews. I like all those guys. But I don't feel disgusting on missing out on the stack in the way I would, certain other pass catchers and stuff like that. And also, the chat mentioning Keaton Mitchell. I think he's a great pick. And we could buy the dip on Likely. We could do like a 3 tight end room with Tyler Warren, Likely, and then maybe more of a steady Eddie. And that could work as well.
Yep. I like all of that. Love Mitchell. I mentioned on ADP chasing Tuesday, and you mentioned it on your stream last night, Sean Siegel dubbing Mitchell the best running back in the National Football League. It was said. And so, I mean, if you knew you were getting the best running back in the league in the 15th round, I mean, you would probably take him.
I would. Yeah. That's unfortunately it's now that that little soundbite is going around and sometimes you get sniped on him too early. Let's see. I will say though, this is the range of the board where I'm saying like, I literally give this many shits about ADP. So if there's a sleeper, if there's a guy that we want, like this is go time. I'm not really worried about passing on anyone in this range.
Yeah. All bets are off at this point, right? You've got just the chaos of the league. We've had trades the last couple of days, player movements, and then also trying to get the guys that you haven't been drafting or that you think no one else has been drafting. Doesn't really matter. I agree. At this point of the season, do whatever you want. And Mitchell is somebody I would pick here, I think, probably.
Yep. I am good with that. I mean, you look at the running backs here. We're looking at the Brian Robinson Judkins, which are essentially fake ADPs, Ray Davis, Algier Spears. The other guy here too that I've been trying to get, and this isn't a bad price, is Ollie Gordon on Miami.
Yep.
All right, let's do Ollie Gordon. I took him even earlier than this before. And so that gets us to 5 running backs. We should probably consider wide receiver as well. If we have some guys we like here. Dobbs could be nice because he's a week 17 bring back and kind of shores up maybe a thinner wide receiver room. I'm open to anybody else though as well.
Dobbs or Tesla.
Yeah. Who do you want to do?
Do you want to wait 2 rounds on Tesla? Would we even want him if we have Williams? I think we would. That sounds really good. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's have more fun. It's we spent all summer drafting Romeo Dobbs. Let's go get our guys.
We did.
So we get that double stack with Goff, Tesla, and Jameson Williams, and we grab Ollie Gordon at 142. Love that price relative to where I've seen him go and where I took him earlier. We got 5 more picks here. In the home stretch.
Ollie Gordon, I brought this up on ADP chasing yesterday, that wild main event. You came in, your son's having a sleepover and his friends are too loud and here comes dad, 9th round. Peter comes into the draft. Are you guys okay? Is everything under control here? Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt in round 8, all of that. We looked at that draft yesterday and Brian Robinson, Ollie Gordon, Who else was it? There of the 4 running backs we picked in the back half, 3 are likely week 1 starters, and 1 is Christian McCaffrey's new handcuff. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll find out who else it was as we're talking here.
Someone in the chat was yelling at you. Who is the Bills wide receiver we need? What's the boots on the ground? Who's it going to be?
I have friends who love the Palmer bet, and it's still, what is that, round 10 or something like that? Shakir,
Yeah, he went 12 here. Yeah.
12, yeah, even cheaper. Shakir has a really safe floor. I think, they gave him a big contract in the offseason. I think to try to get from him what they've gotten from him last year, he never drops the ball. There is some run after the catch potential with him. He just hasn't been anything in the red zone, and the ceiling is just never going to be super high. He plays in the slot, and they've got other motives. I mean, they ran the ball like crazy. They ran for 30 touchdowns last year. So it's again this year a really hard question. But I think they do have incentive to see if they can get somewhere higher with Coleman. I mean, Palmer was, how can you say we don't care about wide receiver? I signed Joshua Palmer. So that's on the record. After that, I mean, I don't know. If Mac Hollins was the guy last year nobody ever drafted, who ended up leading the Bills in receiving touchdowns on a team where the quarterback won the literal NFL MVP award with 5, you still didn't want to have drafted him. So Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, I don't really think are worth it other than like in a managed league where you can cut them.
Yeah. It feels like we've done that kind of pick on the Bills, back to the Cole Beasley days. And it's like, there's been some moments, but it's like, what do you actually win? Like you said, in best ball, it's just like not moving the needle.
They also paid, I'm sorry, I just want to add, they also paid James Cook, who just came off 16 rushing touchdowns. Why would they want to fix that if it's not broken?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like Vaughn says here, Keon's got to take the leap. Like, it is what it is. Either Keon or Kincaid has to take like a massive, massive leap this year. All right, we're about to be on the clock in the 14th round. I have a guy I want to float here. I just got to make sure he's actually still here. Is Coker still here? He is. Okay. I don't want to bully you into selections on your draft, but that does seem like an awesome price here, especially because we still need to build out this room.
Yep. I mean, what a result for him. Not to mention Jimmy Horn Jr., Peter, right? I'm guessing you have not drafted, and neither have I this season. But, they have incentive on Leggett. Carolina's done a really good job there.
Do you want to grab a likely here to kind of, and then we can get the, paper over that lack of early season production with a later veteran?
Yeah. Give us somebody to put Lamar with. That'll be later in the season play. He'll probably miss a few games. That's
what I thought. I mean, I'm not going to expect anything from him for first, 6 to 7 weeks. But if we're going to go a 3 tight end room, obviously you need Warren to hit relatively early, but I think we can get some production late and then make that Lamar pick work from a Best Ball Mania playoff sprint angle where it's like, let's get Lamar and likely hooking up for some big scores, 15-17.
I mentioned to you Saturday that I met some ship chasing fans in Kentucky, and was recognized for that. And I thought your text, something like people came up to you and said, "Aren't you Mike Schopp from ADP Chasing?" You were a little bit incredulous to that possibility. That's literally what happened. That's literally what happened.
I wasn't incredulous to it. I was making a joke because it's a reference from the Swolecast where it's in the intro where it says, "Are you Davis Maddock from the Swolecast?" So I was just parodying.
I'm sorry.
No, I trust me. I know you're a big enough star to command attention at the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championships.
These were young guys who were collecting trophies from last year, by the way, in their big payback, which is a $1,000 entry. But the clientele there skews older. And it was even guys, believe it or not, there are guys older than me in this community. And they were also fans of yours and of the show. So I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, that is it. It's always fun. This year we did our ship chasing meetup down in Florida. Kind of sidestepping things, which actually it worked out swimmingly. I did not know I was going to be in LA for the YouTube gig when we made that decision,
congrats.
But I would have had to have bailed on the ship chasing weekend anyway. So that was very serendipitous, but I have always wanted to go out to the Kentucky one. Looks like a great time, closer to me. I also love that it's a little earlier in the draft season. And then Farrell, who runs the show over there, is just an absolute legend in the high stakes space, a total character. If you guys have listened to Fantasyland episodes or some of our old ship chasing episodes over the years, Farrell has made a cameo. The white powdered wig I wore in the Best Ball Bro skit like looks exactly like his hair. And he runs this thing, but he's also an NFL agent. He has some like really small time, like back into the roster type players on his roster. But, you know, he manages all of this. And he's just one of those kind of like Dos Equis type, you know, most interesting men in the world guys who always cracks me up.
He struck me that way. This was my first time meeting him, but I have to say he and the staff there were all over it. I mean, I get flustered. I've been out in Vegas, and there are times when it's just not running well, these drafts.
Yeah.
And these were just really flawless.
What do you think about going Jatavian and trying to double up on the benefit of no Thielen, no Renfro with both Coker and
unless you can get Horton.
Let me see. I think Horton's gone.
Okay, then
he's gone. Yeah. He that would have been a good call. Like a lot of the fun picks went. Obviously, Troy Franklin goes. Harold Fannin goes.
My long lost cousin, Harold Fannin.
We have 2, 5, 6, 3. We're going to be good at quarterback, good at tight end. Probably a running back and wide receiver to close out here.
Hopkins.
Oh yeah. Why don't we do that? I mean, we were thin at wide receiver. Let's get that double stack. He actually pairs well, right? Like Hopkins maybe bigger role while Likely's out at the start of the season, and then in Bridges. Right. I think that's a good call.
Would it really surprise you? How many touchdowns would surprise you? I mean, on that team, as well as they run, as well of a run machine as Baltimore is. What if he scored 7 touchdowns, like a tight end or somebody? He could almost play that kind of red zone role, as you said, with Likely missing. Yeah. I think there's some upside there.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely like, you know, there's a reason he's going here and not going where Keenan Allen is going, and that's because, you know, Keenan Allen, you know, earned targets for the entire year, and Hopkins was kind of lost in the shuffle of that Chiefs offense, which feels weird considering how barren that depth chart was. It felt like the prime opportunity for him to step up. And I don't know if it was just their commitment to running in the red zone, you know, all those Kareem Hunt touchdowns or what it was, but it's like, I understand why he's going here, but I can certainly squint. Like if you're betting on a talent like Hopkins, even at his age, tethered to the best quarterback in football, I can see it working.
And it's not like their receiver depth chart is long at all. I mean, it's Flowers and Bateman. I do like Bateman's potential to have his biggest season, and Flowers is good. But I think, that's it. Other than the tight ends, and you've got an injury there. And then Andrews was somebody there was trade speculation about for much of the offseason that just died off, which, I never really understood why they would have wanted to do that. But maybe they tried. They didn't do it. Hopkins works. 17th round.
Yes. And let's figure out, I'll recap the team here, and then we'll figure out who's going to be our Mr. Irrelevant. Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff at quarterback. Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Zach Charbonnet, Bashal Tuten, and Ollie Gordon. Solid running back room there. CeeDee Lamb, Jamison Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Jayden Reed, Isaac Tesla, Jalen Coker, and Hopkins. It was a little shaky there after the Reed pick, but we come back, get the double stack, get the Coker value, get Hopkins as part of the stack. Tyler Warren, Likely, and Jatavian Sanders there. I think this is probably a wide receiver, but I feel like we could go either way if you have a favorite.
I don't yet. Somebody I was looking at running back must have just gone.
Kendre's the kind of like late
Monongai.
guy I've been. Who are you looking at?
Monongai was interesting to me.
Oh, did he go?
Yeah. Not a correlation pick.
Running back's pretty wiped unless you want to do like Justice Hill, but I don't know if this team needs that. A.D. Mitchell, KLS.
Scroll the F down, right, at this point?
Yeah. I mean, I have Kendre in there right now. You see anyone else you like more?
I really don't. Miller's good.
Yeah, I was hoping Malik Washington would come all the way back. Pair him with Ollie Gordon. I think kind of a fun late round click right now. But we get that 6th running back with no obvious wide receiver selections. Here's the team show up, and then we're going to have my guy Neil Orfield hopping on here in a couple of minutes. Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff at quarterback. Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Zach Charbonnet, Bashal Tuten, Ollie Gordon, and Kendre Miller. CeeDee Lamb, Jamison Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Jayden Reed, Isaac Tesla, Jalen Coker, DeAndre Hopkins. Tyler Warren, Isaiah Likely, Jatavian Sanders. We went and got some of our guys early, but I think it really helped us make this team work from a stack perspective.
Very exciting. I'll be looking forward to the Crack Rock experience tomorrow night. As a viewer, congratulations on the YouTube thing. My Buffalo show starts in an hour and 15 minutes. I'll have Steve Palazzolo on today.
Oh, nice.
The latest on the Bills.
I always tease you about not inviting on the ship chasing universe to Buffalo Bills Radio. You did. I have to set the record straight. You did invite me on. I wasn't able to swing it that specific day, but I guess you're off the hook from that bit where I accuse you of not trusting us on the airwaves.
What I do is more often than asking you onto my show is ask myself onto yours. That's what I do more often.
Hey, like I said, especially this time, it's been really nice because I had extra streams to do this week, and logistically, like having to reach out, confirm all this stuff, it's like a lot. So when people come out and they say, hey, love to be on or whatever, it makes my life easier. So thank you for reaching out. Thank you for all your work on ADP chasing this year. I should mention, obviously check out yesterday's stream, all kinds of action going on there as far as risers and fallers, some really good discussions. And then they will have the ADP chasing finale on Tuesday. So coming off of Labor Day, should be a really fun one with just all the final right before the season stuff. And my guess is there'll still be a couple contests open if people want to get in final drafts and see how these guys are reacting to it. But let people know anything else I'm missing outside of ADP chasing.
You can find my Buffalo show on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, 3 to 7 weekday afternoons, and I host Bills postgame when it's not in prime time. I got too old for prime time, got too late. I do Purple Insider with Matthew Collar on the Vikings Wednesdays as well. And it's been a real, like a career highlight to be a part of this family and to do that ADP show every week. It's been so much fun. So thank you.
Well, you've been an awesome addition. What's the Minnesota stuff? It'll be a good segue to our next guest, Neil Orfield, a Minnesota fan. What have you learned about the Vikings from doing that show?
Last year, I remember the biggest takeaway I got from Matt Collar was Ty Chandler is not a thing. And that proved to be correct. And this year I was drafting in Kentucky and I just texted him about this week's schedule and Thielen, he's like, he'll be a Viking by the end of the day. And he almost was. Close enough.
Okay. So this is it. And what is it? What was the rationale? Is it just covering for Addison at the start of the season? Hometown guy? Was there any other rationale behind the move?
We didn't get deep into it, on the show or anything. I'll be back with him next week. But, I mean, it kind of makes sense for both teams. And I think Carolina did really well in terms of the draft picks they got. But, I can't say that I know what the long-term plan is for Thielen. But he was pretty good last year at his advanced age. And I would think that they traded for him for a reason. So I think Mason, talking to Matt, I mean, he's very excited about Mason, touchdowns and, that kind of role, the role he'll have. So I've drafted a lot of Mason. Big investment.
Beautiful. Had to squeeze out a little Vikings alpha on the way out. Mike, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you on ADP chasing on Tuesday. And have a great Labor Day.
Thanks, Pete. You too.
All right. Peace. All right. Welcoming to the stage, the oldest man to ever stream all 150 of his drafts. Have you thought to try to one-up me and become the oldest man to ever stream all 150 drafts twice? Because that's now what you would have to do.
No, that is, I'm impressed. I mean, that is pretty impressive that you've been able to do it twice at your age. I'll have to wait till next year to do that. I am happy to come in and inject some youth into this program after you had Schopp on. I'm glad I can bring a little youth here.
Like I said in the tweet, it was an accidental theme to my guest today. 2 young bucks in the fantasy space. How are your final week of drafting going? Are you getting all the teams in that you want?
Pure chaos right now. I was in your last draft. I don't know if you saw it. I was in comments. I was like, I didn't realize it till pick 160. I saw your username there because I was doing 6 at one time. I have like over 50 BBMs left to do. You are making me feel a little bit better about where I'm at. Davis, I was listening to one of his streams a couple days ago maybe, and he was projecting that it was going to be filled by Saturday. And I was like, oh God, I got to get ahead of this. I think that you are probably right. I was kind of tracking the percentages yesterday, and it was going up like 0.1% per hour. But there is always that, like, as you get closer, it really fills up a lot quicker because people are like, oh, I got to get these in. So it's really hard to project when it's going to finish. So I'm just trying to get into a place where I'll be sure to be able to finish those 150 because I don't want to do any more slow drafts.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Davis, having a hyper aggressive
Never.
forecast, just
Yeah.
a slightly hyperbolic forecast. Who could have seen that coming? And yeah, they keep adding contests too, which I think they're in their dream. It's like, Best Ball Mania fills Tuesday, Wednesday, like right
Yeah.
before the start of the season. So I think that's where we are headed right now. Let's see here. Any other, have you been going out and getting your guys? Are you smoothing out your
Yeah.
portfolio? Like, what is kind of your mindset in drafts right now?
Yeah. I would say probably a month ago, I would guess I had 1%, 2% Jalen Coker. And that was before like the Adam Thielen rumors really started taking hold. But it was actually listening to like ship chasing, ADP chasing, you guys talking about Jalen Coker. So some real Coke heads on the streams kind of got me thinking like, they're right. He's a pretty talented. I looked into it a little bit more and I was like, he was better than Xavier Legette last year. And then the Thielen rumors came. I just looked at my Best Ball Explorer. He is now the wide receiver that I've spent the most money on this year. So not,
Coker?
he's not my, he's not the one that I have the most exposure to, but 11.8% exposure, 20.5% fees on Coker, highest of all my wide receivers, 2,900 spent. So that's like all in the last month. I've been continuing to buy the dip, so I appreciate this this little negotiation period with the Vikings and Panthers, because it's allowed me to get my Coker up.
That was really nice. Like that's the windows of value in drafts, like they snap or close shut so quickly, like the Ollie Gordon thing, right? It was like, there's kind of some stuff going on with Achan and Wright, and it's like, you could still get him like 17th, 16th round. And then it's like, bam, he's like a 12th, 13th round pick. So if you got it, when we get these like rumors, like even the same thing, I don't know, like, are you buying the Jacoby Myers stuff? He obviously isn't happy, but do you think anything actually happens there?
I've been holding off a little bit because I'm like, I don't think anything happens there, but it makes me a little bit nervous. And then there's just like the uncertainty of like, I don't know if there's that many places that I would expect him to go to where he's going to be in a better situation. Like I think he's currently the pretty clear number 2 in the passing game behind Brock Bowers. He could get traded somewhere where he's suddenly the wide receiver 2. I don't know. So and then I just don't know who to stack him with. So there's a lot of those. I've always been one who's like, I'm a little bit less likely to take a receiver if I have no interest in their quarterback. So like I'm a little bit less inclined to take Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, which that's changed a little bit now with Joe Flacco being named the starter. But like he kind of goes onto that lump for me now where it's like, I don't really want to take him because I don't know that he's a great stack with Geno, but it's a very, very slight bump for me. Negative bump.
Yeah, that one I don't. There's probably there's some smoke there, but not enough. I don't think they actually want to make a move. It's more just him being like, "Hey, I look around the league and I see all these disgruntled wide receivers who complain publicly and then get what they want. Maybe I should try that."
Yeah. Oh, Charlie says Geno slander boot. No, I'm a Geno. I like Geno. That's the issue. It's like I liked him better when he was like clearly on the Raiders and there was no issue, no holdout. Because I actually think Geno is a really strong late round click. But now it's like, well, maybe I don't know if he's going to be traded. But like you said, I don't think it's super likely.
All right, let's do it. My last Best Ball Mania draft on the channel today. Actually, that's not even true. It'll be doing the Bash one tonight. I have 3 more Best Ball Mania drafts today. One right now with Neil. I'm going to do one. We'll do it on your account. We'll do a home and away on your stream right after this. You guys will be redirected there. Right after this, we'll go do one on Neil's. And then tonight, we'll have the Bash, and we will do one more. So this is going to be... Let me make sure I have my my stuff straight here, Neil. I think this is going to be 139 for me. What did you say you're at BBM wise?
I think I have like 40 some left now. I like I said, I just did 6 right before this stream. So that maybe brought the numbers down. No, I think I'm still in the 50s, but I'll check.
All right, we get the influencer 101 here, Neil. 2 heavy hitter best ball influencers combining their forces to coax a 101 out of the Underdog RNG. We did it. Do you do anything funky here, or do you take your Ja'Marr Chase and move on with your life?
Take my Ja'Marr Chase and move on. I mean, I just want to have exposure there, and then it's just that defense is so bad. Have to buy into the Bengals this year a bit. I have 48 remaining BBMs.
Okay, you gotta pick it up.
I was doing 6 at a time last night, 2 hours in a row. And then this morning, right before the stream, I did six at a time.
What have you been doing this whole summer? Why are you so far behind?
Did you hear about my DraftKings sponsorship, Pete? I had 2 weeks where I just exclusively was doing DraftKings stuff.
The two weeks, that still would suppose that you had 24 drafts, Best Ball Mania drafts you would have done in those other weeks, which I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I do with my time. I was maxing out the eliminator, the rookies and sophomores, the super flex. So just all those little side quests. I also I like to save my drafts for later on. Like I just think that I'm a better
Yeah.
drafter later in the summer. I know that there are some people who are really good at the CLV game. That's not really my game. I'm good at having the information and then drafting accordingly. So I like to save them, but I really regret not getting more slow drafts in early because it was because I wanted to do all of my eliminators late, and then the eliminator was closing earlier than I thought it would, so I couldn't do those fast drafts. So I did a billion eliminator slow drafts at the end, and then I didn't want to join. I didn't want to be in 300 or 400. I wanted to be 200 slow drafts at a time, and ultimately I did get to 300 some, but that was a struggle for me.
You know what we really need? It's everybody talks about, the RTA tools and, optimizers and sims. What you need is a contest selection and register optimizer where you tell it, I want to max the eliminator. I want to max Best Ball Mania. Here are the expected hours I have a week. Here's the percentage I would like to do slow draft versus fast draft. Here is the weight of when I would like to do them ideally or whatever, and then have it spit out your schedule. And then it's hey, on Monday, you need to register for 5 eliminator slow draft to keep you on pace for blah, blah, blah. I feel like that service would absolutely crush if it existed.
Shady, if you're listening from Ireland, I don't know what time it is in Ireland right now, but if you're listening, Shady, you gotta add that to the sidekick.
Yes, there you go. Take advantage of that idea there from us and get that happening right now. The eliminator filling as fast as it did threw me off a bit. I ended up slamming fast, and now I wish I had slows going even with the shorter clocks. That's been my arc with it, where I waited too long, and I'm the thing I didn't like, it wasn't that I'm in slow draft hell. Using the leg up tool has been very handy for not making that feel like a chore. I just wanted to be drafting in different windows. When we have this news and I didn't want every draft to be I'm in the 13th round. That said, it hit with all of this news. It's even this morning, I'm clicking Coker in the 16th, 17th round of these. So it's actually worked out kind of well to time up the eliminator drafts with right when all the interesting news is hitting.
It has been pretty great to get my Coker up. The funny thing is I was already moving Coker up to the 16th round. So a lot of these, I'm on the clock and I'm all right, where's Coker? Oh, I took him the round before, even before the news started. So I bought him maybe too early, based on if the news had not happened, but happy to get him. I like Chris's idea, new Underdog masterclass course, time management. That's
right. We do legitimately have contest selections and bankroll recommendations in there for people depending on what your bankroll is. And then we kind of put people into archetypes. We call it a grinder. If you're you're just wanting to put in the time, you're trying to build up your bankroll, make, really smart contest selection decisions. And then we also have a term we describe as a hawk, where it's hey, I have a little money to play with. I'm willing to be very exploitative. I'm willing to go 50% on a guy and take on the risk. We have suggestions for that type of player, and then at varying bankroll prices there. So very helpful stuff if you're kind of looking for something like that as far as the BRs. All right. We are back on the clock here at the turn. Ja'Marr Chase is our first pick. Higgins, McBride, Tyreek Hill, the quarterbacks. What do you want to do?
I want to go McBride and almost want to pull up Amari and Hampton.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's a pull up. I mean, at this point, it's I guess you're skipping Higgins and Hill, but yeah.
I'm not all summer. I've been saying I really still think this is a great 0 RB year. I'm going to really slam it in August when we have more clarity on the running backs, and the opposite has happened. It's just been there are so many late round receivers that I like now that I'm I feel like I should just be hammering these early running backs more. I mean, up to 150 or so. There's still some mid-range running backs I really like, but it's been weird in that I feel like the better clicks later are wide receivers at this point. Have you been finding the same thing, or are you trying to do more 0 RB?
No, for sure. All the 0 running back. I mean, I have been doing some 0 RB, but I also think knowing what your draft slot allows for is kind of tricky, right? Because if you pass on Hampton here, and I've done teams like this, but there's now no really fun options at the 4 or 5.
Breece Hall falls.
You're right.
Actually, Kenneth Walker and Kenneth Walker. So there are two, if you find them exciting, maybe you're bored by those names. But those are the two that are sometimes available there. But yeah, you can't get Trevi on there.
It's funny you say that, because I'm I want to go check. I'm pretty sure that's the build I did on Best Ball Breakfast earlier this week. I guess I did a Bijan Breece there. I thought, no, yeah, I did it. Okay. This was the Ja'Marr Chase. I knew I had one like this, my 126. And then I did Breece and Kenneth Walker along with McBride. So basically this version of the team, but I pulled up JSN instead of taking Hampton. and then did the Brees Kenneth Walker. So yeah, no James Cook, no Trevion Henderson there anymore. But yeah, you can make that work either way. Where are you at though? Like if you back it out, are you then kind of saying, hey, I don't love those running backs there?
At the 4-5 turn?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying like if you wanted to grab Hampton, because I assume you don't love those options there.
No, yeah. No, I do. I think that Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker are pretty strong options there. Some question marks there now with Kenneth Walker. Maybe Zach Charbonnet is eating into the role a little bit. Who knows how much the ankle is actually bothering Kenneth Walker. So I have a ton of Kenneth Walker. At this point, he's moved up a little bit. There's also no guarantee he falls to you. And then Breece, I don't know. I'm still clicking it, but I don't feel super confident in it. I know there are people who are a lot more confident than I am that he's going to just like win out and prove to be the best running back there. I still click it because it's people that I trust saying that that's what you should do, but I'm not extremely confident in it with the way things are going right now. I think Isaiah Davis is pretty talented. Braylon Hall, Braylon Allen, obviously people love. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think it might be a little bit of a split. So it's a click that I'll make, just a bet on talent, but yeah, I don't know. I don't love it as much as some do, I guess.
Yeah, I wondered too, thinking through the Breece Hall stuff, it almost feels like, my guess is a lot of times people talk about this with like rushing quarterbacks too, not the elite ones, but let's say like a Justin Fields or whatever, where people think about it through the lens of ceiling and or where it's like, actually what you're getting from Justin Fields is almost like more of a floor because of the rushing. And I think the Breece Hall thing is kind of similar. Like people are spooked about the floor, but it's actually, I think you should be spooked about the ceiling, because I actually think the floor is going to be there. He's going to get his base touches. He's going to catch some balls. Like, I don't think he's going to destroy your team at the 4-5 turn. I just think like, can he finish as a top 5 running back? That is what I think we're all panicked about. But then you go back to the price. Like, again, we're not drafting him where we have in these years past. Can that high floor actually be enough there?
Yeah, I think it's a nice price to pay for him at the 4-5 turn. Like, I think it is an appropriate price. It's just, yeah, I don't know. But I also I wouldn't be opposed to getting 3 running backs early with how good the late wide receivers are now. I don't think that's likely what we should do. We could consider it if those are the 2 guys here, but.
Can I make one request of a guy I've been trying to get today and have it? I've been wanting to get Rice at some, because I do think
I like that call.
He's a value after this this news today.
I drafted him a couple before the stream. I'm low on Rice also.
Okay, let's grab him as our second. Who do you want to get here otherwise?
Yeah, I would say probably Kenneth Walker. Man, that's tough. Let's go Kenneth Walker.
All right, we'll grab Kenneth Walker. Omari and Hampton, Kenneth Walker are running backs, and Jamar Chase and Rashee Rice are wide receivers. Trey McBride at tight end. Yeah, that was I've been light on Rice. This is the first piece of Rice news that has made me excited to draft him.
Me too.
The best case scenario with this 1 through 6. I think we can build out a team that survives that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. I think it was Jacob Sanderson tweeted out that he's just gonna be hammering Rice at the 4-5 turn. I'll be hammering him in the 5th round. I think. I don't know about the 4-5 turn consistently, but I'll be taking some of the 4-5 turn. But then, in the 5th round, I think he is a pretty strong click right now. There are a lot of players that I like in that range though, so it's tough to want to just take him in every draft, because I think there are some obvious concerns there, beyond just missing 6 weeks. That does give opportunity for Xavier Worthy to kind of take over as the top receiver there. I know a lot of people don't really believe in the talent with Xavier Worthy, but he's clearly, he's fastest wide receiver ever, and he was really good at the end of last year. So I'm kind of a believer in Xavier Worthy. I don't know. I think it's likely that when Rice returns, he is the top receiver there. That is the most likely outcome, but it might take a little while for him to reintegrate into the offense, and it's not going to be until week 7, and then they have their week 10 bye, and it's just going to be a lot of missed time. So it could be a smash piece in the playoff weeks, but that's still that's also true of Travis Hunter, Devontae Smith, Jameson Williams, all these other guys who go after him. So
yeah. So we start Chase, McBride, Hampton, Rashee Rice, Kenneth Walker. This might be a funky draft. We see DeAndre Swift go at pick 54. That's pretty rich relative to his ADP. Rome goes at 55. He jumps, Metcalf, Ridley, Sutton. No one's ever excited to click Sutton, and yet you still don't normally see him fall to 59 here. Yeah. So the rooms are getting a little funky. The only thing I regret about with my streaming schedule is I don't really, I'm never up to do like a 10 p.m., a late night stream where things get really fun.
Yeah. Oh, I do a lot of those, and they sometimes are fun. Not always. Sometimes it's a lot of people who are like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get this great EV in the late round." So it's a bunch of people who are trying to take advantage of late night drafting, and then it's just nobody falling past ADP. I almost said the word slurp the dipperino there, and I just want to know, right before I came on the stream, so I did a short video on YouTube this past week that I named like slurping some dipperinos in the draft. I forget what I named exactly. First draft I've ever had flagged as not suitable for kids, which I always mark mine as like not for kids anyway. But it's literally the first one, and I'm like, is it
because of the title?
I don't know. It didn't tell me what the reasoning was, but it was the first time. So I'm like, is that the reasoning? Did I like swear in this? I feel like I swear in all my videos. So it's
well, it's funny because I posted the short of Jason saying it. I have this short from earlier this week. Jason is slurping that dipperino. I didn't get any flags there.
I literally, like, right before I came on the stream. So I'm going to read my, it looks like slurping some dipperinos for rare combos. It may not be appropriate for younger audiences under our community guidelines. We placed an age restriction on it. What we found, your content was age restricted because of our community guidelines. Content that shows harmful or dangerous activities that risk serious physical harm may be age restricted if it's not appropriate for all audiences. I don't know.
We are on the clock. I think Olave's perfect for this team. Olave Judy would have been really nice on a Rice 1-2 quarterback team. Who else do you think is our safe pick here? Diggs?
Do we have any other running backs or any other positions that we like? I just want to see the whole.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with Diggs. Yeah, let's go Diggs.
I just feel like with the 2 running back start, Rice 6, essentially only having 2 wide receivers here, we should probably get another one right here.
I'm doing the whole like drafting backwards strategy. There's a part of it that's just like, let's hold off some spots for wide receivers. But yeah, no, you're right. We should get at least some early on, especially with, like you said, with Rice being out for likely the first 6 weeks.
Well, and this kind of team, even though it has 4 wide receivers and Chase up top, will probably go 2 tight ends because we have McBride. I guess TBD on what we do at quarterback as far as 2 or 3. But I think these are the kind of teams where you could still get to 8 wide receivers pretty easily and still like the build. Yeah,
no, for sure we could. Wanted to see Burrow goes unstacked here, which just reminded me of, I really enjoyed how much you wanted to get JJ McCarthy in your last draft. How much it hurt you, how much it stung you to not get JJ McCarthy was heartening to me. But also I do want to thank that drafter for protecting the integrity of Best Ball Mania and taking JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm not even a JJ McCarthy slap, but it's just like when you draft Jefferson and Addison, it's like, come on, I need to close the loop here. That one, it hurt. It really hurt.
It also fit his team perfectly. They also had a big Vikings team bet with TJ Hawkinson there.
Let's see. I did like this comment here from Nick. To be fair, I've heard fallers don't fall enough. Slurping the dipperino may be dangerous for children. So maybe that's why it got flagged.
He's right.
Broad Palm says, not exactly a hot take, but I can't believe people aren't more excited about Chase 101. I don't know. Like, to me, it's a fairly weak 101 year. We don't have the like CMC guy who's just like the clear cut, no questions asked. I think you can make arguments for Gibbs and Lamb and all of these guys, Bijan kind of having that floor. And then on top of it, the lack of excitement to me comes more about my picks at the 2-3 turn. I would much rather be able to get a start with, Brian Thomas and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, this guy reached for him over here, but Amon-Ra and Henry, just those combos of those players where it goes about 16, 17 deep. Even the Bowers, AJ Brown feels good. But then once you get to the Ladd, Jacobs, Hampton, it's just like the start doesn't feel as strong. So I think that's why there's never like, we got the fucking 101. It's like, well, that means we also got the 212 and the 3-1.
Yeah. I think it's also partially like somebody posted like 8 years in a row, the 101 from the previous year, like has a pretty big fall off. So I think there's some worry about like, we keep, and it is, I forget who made the point, but they made the point that it's like, it's not just coincidence. It is because to be the 101, like you have to have extreme usage. So then typically there's going to be a little bit of a fall off the following year. So I think that's also part of the concern. It's just like, he had so much usage last year. T Higgins missed so much time. Maybe they lighten up the workload a little bit, but I am still excited about the 101. I think it is one of those things that obviously he can repeat, especially with how bad their defense is and playing with Joe Burrow.
Yeah. And the other thing I think that contributes to it is it puts drafters in a little bit of a bind with their chase shares, because you would like to have a lot of your chase stacked up with Burrow, and you don't want to pay the premium for it at the 4-5. Sure, if there aren't integrity protectors receiving a Medal of Honor for Donald Trump for their services, there's some times where he comes back, but you don't know that. So there's a lot of factors that I combine to not being like windmill excited about that. That's just my assessment. All right, 8-9 turn. We got our two running backs, Hampton and Kenneth Walker. We got Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, Olave, Diggs. We got tight end Trey McBride here. Kyler always in the conversation on McBride teams, but also could be looking at wide receivers again. What do you think?
I just go Kyler is the first one for me. Tyler Warren, a little bit of a faller. I heard you say that he's not a big priority for you. Not for me either, but we could consider doing that instead.
Let's
close in.
Let's lock up Kyler.
Yeah.
I kind of like this because what it could do, we could potentially, if we're able to get like Drake May, we could potentially do a 2 quarterback, 2 tight end build, and then again, free up an additional spot at wide receiver and just like hammer a ton of wide receivers.
Yeah. I like it.
Let's do it. Kyler Murray to Trey McBride. We grabbed Tyler Warren as our tight end 2. He does slip a little bit there. And as you heard, trying to get a little bit of him. And so if we're going to get him at a value, and I already found him a little rich, that seems like the time.
Yeah. This is the perfect time for both of us to get some. I like the way it's shaping up. There's zero chance we're getting Drake May on a stream draft, right? Is there, do you ever see it in a stream draft?
Well, I mean, maybe. We have Diggs too. Like a lot of times it is the Diggs drafter drafting him. So that gives us a little extra there, but yeah.
I've actually been seeing Justin Fields slipping pretty late recently, which has surprised me. He's another one that I'd be happy to add him on.
I think it's happening. I think it's happening in direct correlation to the Garrett Wilson slide. So Garrett Wilson, people have, been less excited about him. Where did he go? Yeah. He went at pick 43 here. That's like a full round past what his ADP was. And so I think now the Garrett Wilson drafter is also less confident there. They're pushing quarterback or however that works. But yeah, they've almost moved in tandem. Yeah.
Little quarterback run here. That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah, it is always funny how that works. The Brock Purdy to CMC in Pearsall. So that makes sense. Unstacked Bo Nix there. Unstacked. No, not unstacked. Dak to Pickens. That makes sense. Caleb to
DJ
Caleb
Moore.
unstacked. So yeah. So
DJ
interesting.
DJ Moore.
Oh, you're right.
6th round DJ Moore.
Oh, I can't see anymore. I'm losing my eyesight apparently.
Yeah, like I said, injecting some youth to help you out here. I saw Lou Dog's comment on where is the man's coin, and I've said it before, Pete. I have to keep it in the suitcase. I can't keep it in the light. I want to preserve the man's coin, so I can't just keep it out all the time. But yeah, I should have remembered to bring out the man's coin for this. Has a bit ever fallen on its face harder than my man's coin video bit? I mean, that was just it was bad. I made a video at night and then I scheduled it for like 3:30 a.m. Because that was part of the bit, and so nobody saw it, and the whole thing was just dead on arrival. But it was fun for me to do. I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, because was it last time you were on stream with me? You put out that you wanted a man's coin, and then did Lou slide into your DMs?
Yeah, Lou. So it was on your late night stream. I said I wanted to get my hands on a man's coin. I also, by the way, I did not realize that there was an actual NFT. I thought it was only a physical coin. So I did get what I was referring to. But it was funny to later learn that there's actually an actual NFT. But yeah, Lou reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got 2 man's coins. If you're interested in one." And I was like, yes, please.
The progression was, I believe there was the original physical man's coin, and then those sold out. And so he did man's coin lit, the Litecoin to the man's coin Bitcoin. And then when the NFTs launched, he also, there was a certain amount of physical coins that went with the initial NFT. So between all that was the extent of the physical coins. And when they ran out, they ran out. And so it's nice to know that they are still a relatively scarce commodity there. As you predicted, Drake May goes at 111. However, Fields, like you said, is still here. So we could play that angle if we want to free up the roster spots.
That's the angle, in my opinion. Yeah.
I like it. And then I don't think we have to force wide receiver here. This could definitely be a spot to get the third running back if you see somebody.
I love Bashal Tuten.
Toot.
Could do Braylon Allen if you want to do that stack instead.
You choose.
Let's go Braylon Allen.
Yeah. I like it too. Slight tiebreaker in that Tuten has the same buy as Walker. So we'll get Hampton week 12, Walker week 8, Braylon week 9. They're, a round ahead of ADP, but on a Fields team and with no wide receivers in sight, I think that was a good pick.
Yeah, I have Tuten ahead of Braylon Allen, but just because it is a tiebreaker, and we might not want to go for a third tight end, so we might not do Mason Taylor on this team. We still have like the Josh Reynolds laid out for the Jets, but having like some little team stack, I think, is better than nothing there.
I'm so sorry for the uninitiated. Lots of people confused. What are these coins no one knows about? Are you guys crypto bros? We were talking about Pete Manzanelli. This guy I knew, he was a poker crusher, a DFS crusher, and then he dabbled in the crypto world in NFT physical coins. He was the inventor of the world's first physical cryptocurrency. Many imposters and copycatters have come since then, but he was the OG. There's lots of videos. You can find him on Twitter. He hasn't been around in a while. I don't know what happened to him. Very interesting guy, very cocky. And I think he flew too close to the sun. He just burned too bright for this world. And I don't know where he is now, Neil.
He's the guy who taught me get paid, get laid. I mean, that was just, those are the words that I've lived by ever since Pete Manzanelli taught me. I'll say this, I'll tease my stream a little bit. I will go out and I will get the man's coin for the start of my stream. So if you want to see the physical man's coin, I will get that for the stream that's immediately following this one. Pete and I will be on.
Yes. We will be hopping over to Neil's channel here in about 15 minutes, right when we're done with this draft. Here's our team so far, 2-3-4-2. We're taking care of the onesies early and ready to unload at running back and wide receiver because we got Kyler Murray and Justin Fields. We got Trey McBride and Tyler Warren. And then it's Amari and Hampton, Kenneth Walker, and Braylon Allen at running back, Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave, and Diggs at wide receiver. And then the other kind of fun thing about this, I mean, with Kyler and Fields, there really isn't any other like even stacking wide receiver stuff. It's like Michael Wilson at the end of the draft, Josh Reynolds if we really need. But other than that, it's just like, let's go get our favorite players.
Yeah. We're just taking our guys. Although a lot of the running backs that I like, Dylan Sampson goes. Trey Benson, a guy that I've been like trying to get more of recently. I was pretty out based on like some of the coach speak because it started so bullish at the beginning of the summer. Was like, it's going to be 1A, 1B. We've got 2 starting running backs. And then more recently, the coaches started like in July, the coaches started being like, I never said it's 1A, 1B. It is, you need to earn your spot. And I was like, and they're, talking up James Conner. So I was like, oh, this Trey Benson is really dead. But now more recently, they held out Trey Benson from the preseason game. They said, we know what he is. We like what we have there. We want to see the other guys. So that seems bullish to me. So I am trying to get a little bit more there.
Yeah, I like that take. He does go here. Definitely seems like a spot to, we can grab a wide receiver. I think it's like any favorites you have here, we can do.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really the sexy guys yet, but I would just go with Josh Palmer.
Yeah. Do you want to grab? I've been trying to get Ollie Gordon in this.
Yeah, I take an Ollie Gordon. Yeah.
All right, let's do Gordon. And yeah, I'm with you. I would say Palmer or Douglas on this team.
Do we have a bye week tiebreaker there?
I guess we have Diggs.
Oh, we have Diggs. I guess maybe we should just do the team stack. Or no. Let's go Palmer because some of the others that we want to target are week 14.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So we'll grab Ollie Gordon at 144. We get a wide receiver. Palmer is a good pick on a team where you only have 3.5 wide receivers through 13 rounds. But we are not panicking because we know the mission and we are ready to complete it. But I do I've been working this morning to get my Ollie Gordon up. I think I've taken him in almost every draft except one, and I like the price at 144.
He's still got a pretty wide band of where he goes. I've been buying him here at 144 a fair bit, but like sometimes you'll still even get him at the next turn, which I love him there at the, what was that, 14, 15 turn. But yeah, I think I've taken him right where we just took him a fair amount. I still think he's a good bet there as well. Curious to hear your thoughts on Adam Thielen, the Adam Thielen follow from this trade, because that one is the trickiest. I think like the Panthers guy is like obviously great, but like do you move Thielen in your rankings at all?
No, I mean, he wasn't it's going to shock you. He wasn't a big priority for me before, but like, to me, it was a cleaner fantasy setup for him.
It was, for sure.
On the Panthers. Like I mean, I guess you could say now that Tedoroy McMillan was there, he was not going to be able to step into that target hog role like he did last year. So it was going to get a little trickier, but it's like you have Jefferson, who is, already a target hog. He gets 3 weeks without Addison. Addison's a baller. Hawkinson is way more competition at tight end than anyone in Carolina was. So could I see him being a little useful, catching a touchdown here or there? But I just don't know, like, what are you winning even when you're right there? I still feel like you need an injury for him to pay off.
That's kind of how I feel also. I worry about that a little bit. I think just maybe just because it is Adam Thielen again, and we all faded him so hard 2 years ago, and then he was absolutely crushed at the beginning of the season. But I do think that, it's probably a better offensive environment on the Vikings. I think pretty clearly a better offensive environment. But like you said, the opportunity not really there past week 3. I wouldn't think he does. Like he works out with Jayden McCarthy in the offseason. So there is they do have I assume they have a bit of a connection from working out together in the offseason. So maybe he does step in and I think it actually might hurt Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson more than I want it to. But it's the toughest part of the whole equation for me is do I move him at all? I wasn't getting any, and now I have so much of the Vikings. Should I be trying to mix him in a little bit? So yeah, I assume opinions are gonna have a pretty wide range there, and I have not really established what mine is yet, except that it worries me a little bit for Hawkinson especially.
Yeah, I think that's a good take on the Hawk stuff. Let's see. Cokeheads,
baby. Yeah, Cokeheads.
Okay. Cokeheads. I'm trying to see running back here. I don't mind sitting out this range. If there's another wide receiver, I'll let this bleed down here. The Horton stuff is fun. Franklin, I do a ton. Or if there's a running back you really want on this team.
I've been buying a little bit of Najee Harris now that he is, activated.
You want to do it with Hampton?
No, I do not. Let's do Will Shipley's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I always am down I would say Shipley or Horton.
Let's go Shipley.
Okay. I think that's probably smart. The running back these days, I do think thins out a little bit more than the wide receiver. And because we're so thin at wide receiver, sometimes the wide receivers that aren't interesting to me actually become interesting on a team like this. Yeah. We could also leave a light on. I think Michael Wilson's a great pick on the Kyler teams, and he's sliding a good bit. So yeah, let's scoop up that running back, Will Shipley. Here's the team: 2-5-6-2. Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Amari Hampton, Kenneth Walker, Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, and Will Shipley. Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs, Joshua Palmer, and Jalen Coker. Really like that string of wide receivers after the Rice pick: Olave, Diggs, Palmer, Coker, and then Trey McBride and Tyler Warren there.
Nice. I'm liking this team. I think it's working out.
Yeah. Yep. And it's nice to be able to these are the trendy guys today, Ollie Gordon and Coker. And so to be able to get them at what I consider pretty decent prices feels nice.
Yeah, for sure. People in chat are mocking my take that this could affect Addison. All I'm saying is I think Thielen is a better third option than Jalen Naylor or Ty Felton. So they have a legitimate third receiver now. I think that affects the wide receiver too a little bit potentially. And I'm a big Addison guy. I have a lot of Addison. I really believe in the talent, but it's one more mouth that I think is a legitimate option on the team.
Yes. Yeah, I think if I'm not going to pretend to be a ball knower, but I just think the way Addison wins and the way he hits for fantasy as the downfield deep threat and the splash plays and stuff, I think it's a little more immune from. I'd be more worried about the over the middle of the field stuff with Hawk and Thielen. But yeah, sure. You add another legitimate threat in the red zone, that dings any additional thing. I think, but what we're talking about ultimately is very small.
Yeah. I mean, it's 10 targets throughout the year is likely the likeliest scenario is that he loses maybe 10 targets, which is something, but it's not huge.
Yes. All right. I do like how this team's turning out. We're going to be right on track here to head over to Neil's stream. You guys will be redirected there via this one. I'll just need to do a quick little bathroom break in between, Neil, and then we will hop over there. If you guys missed it yesterday, Underdog Masterclass is now live, underdogmasterclass.com, a project I've been working on all off season. Very excited for it to be out there. A lot of the initial feedback has been awesome. I have details in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. There's details on the Off and On the Clock show from yesterday. There's a post for members only about it as well, and a special promo code for you guys if you are in the YouTube post section. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but it is engineered to get you guys ready to be a profitable player in the Battle Royale streets this fall. And I don't have inside information, but I'm pretty sure like we're going to get Battle Royale week 1 stuff dropping within the next day or two. That's just kind of my vibe. We've got the primetime Paloozas. I think it means we are very close to getting those in our life. All right, let's see what we are going to do here. I'm really glad we went this route. Get those running backs early, take on the Rice risk. There's, oh man, Michael Wilson gets sniped for us. Okay. I mean, if they want to make me draft Troy Franklin again, Neil, I will.
You're clearly not a veteran streamer like me, Peak. Okay, you said it, but we still get him. No, that was going to be my suggestion also. He's another one of those just names that I'm really going after. I like Ayomanor too.
Do you... Malik Washington. Yeah, I've been trying to get a little Ayomanor. Talk to me about him. It's like he was sitting there all summer in the background. I guess is he moving up because Restrepo got released? Why did he move up?
No, it's just been a lot of like camp buzz about like they talk about like who's getting targets right now from Cameron Ward, and it's Chigakonkwo, Calvin Ridley, and Elic Ayomanor is the number 3 on that list of just like the guys who are getting targets in practice in the preseason. He's a guy that, was getting some people. I think he was pretty polarizing before the NFL draft. Some people really loved him, some were out, and then he fell later in the draft than people were expecting him to. But clearly Tennessee is, on the positive part of that polarizing spectrum. They seem to like their guy. So yeah, if they're gonna give him targets as the number 2 wide receiver potentially, there, Tyler Lockett's still there. There is still, it's not a sure thing, but it seems to be going in the direction that he might be the wide receiver 2 there in Tennessee. And also Cameron Ward has looked better than people were expecting. So I think that it's the offense might be a little bit better than expected. Andy might be the number 2 receiver in that offense. But it is, he's still like, he fell to 4th or 5th round, I think, a little bit later than expected, which I think JJ Zacharyson put out some research that was like, historically, this has not been that great, but also it was kind of a small sample size of recent history of receivers who fall well past where they're expected to go. Troy Franklin was actually also on that list.
Yes. Yeah. That's the similar comp.
Yeah.
This year. And again, I talked about it a little bit with Mike Schopp, but again, one of the things that has me so bullish on Franklin, and I feel it's kind of masked, and I strongly believe in this research that Blair Andrews had done over at RotoViz, like looking at these breakouts, and the age really matters. And these guys, Troy Franklin is like the age of most rookie wide receivers this year. And so even though he slipped in the draft, when he shows what he did at the end of the last season, then things break for him in a way where Sean Payton's okay trading away a wide receiver he really likes. And then I get to kind of double down on what is almost like a masked second-year breakout because of that lack of production. But when you look at the college production and his age, it makes it feel like a re-roll rookie bet to me almost. So yeah, I'm really into that, and we'll continue to click him whenever I can. Let me recap this team because I do think we can kind of go any which direction. Obviously, running back, wide receiver makes the most sense, but we can get creative here. Kyler and Justin Fields at quarterback, Omarion Hampton, Kenneth Walker, Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Will Shipley at running back, Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs, Joshua Palmer, Jalen Coker, Troy Franklin, Elic Ayomanor at wide receiver, Trey McBride and Tyler Warren at tight end.
Sexy team.
It is.
Playing all the notes.
What are you leaning positionally here, or do you have a player that you can get?
What's our build right now?
2-5-8-2.
Yeah, I mean, I liked your call out on the last stream. I've been doing the same thing with Kendra Miller of just like I don't have that much. I think that he is pretty good late round bet that does not get drafted, has not been drafted throughout the summer. So just a little bit lower ownership there. For me, it would probably be either Kendra Miller or Damian Pierce would be the 2 guys that I'm targeting here.
Let's see. I like that. Also, I see some people just notice the new emotes. I have a couple more. I still need to add the troll character, but I did add a few in here on StreamYard. When I pull it up, it doesn't show it, but yes, there's Patty, there's the seal, there's Scott Hansen, Kendra Miller. We got sniped.
Oh no. All right. Oh, Damian Pierce is there.
Pierce is here. Yeah. Let's do him.
Nice.
We'll grab him. I got a share of him yesterday or on Monday with Jason Moore. Man, my brain is just like from so many hours of streaming and content. I can't things like that stream with Jason feel like it was 2 weeks ago and it was on Monday. That's where I'm at right now.
That's pretty great. Yeah, you've done a ton of content recently.
Yes. Yeah. Don't worry. I actually just got the PNG of that from Zach. Zach hit me up with a few of these. So I'll add a few more emojis. I got a few of them on the Ship Chasing channel as well. This is going to conclude this special edition of Best Ball Breakfast turned Best Ball Brunch. Got in draft 139 here with Neil. I'll do a final recap and then we'll head over to his channel. Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Amarian Hampton, Kenneth Walker, Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Will Shipley, Damian Pierce, wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs, Joshua Palmer, Jalen Coker, Troy Franklin, Elic Ayomanor, tight ends, Trey McBride, Tyler Warren. Final review here from you, Neil.
I love it. This was very much a get your guys team. I think we set it up perfectly to allow us to just take our guys. We got our stacks in early. I mean, I guess we didn't really stack Justin Fields, but we finished with some strong quarterbacks. We kind of did what we wanted to do, which was a very late August slappy draft. And I think we nailed it.
I do. I get so excited to draft right now because it feels like new drafting. It was like we drafted in the same ADP landscape more or less for 3.5 months. And now everything just feels very fun. I don't even know if I barely knew who Ollie Gordon was 4 months ago. And now I'm taking him at 144. Damian Pierce, I would have left for dead, 4 months ago. Rashee Rice, I wouldn't have even touched with a 10-foot pole at this point, or envision that he'd be there at 48. Coker, just being a slam dunk pick at 168. Troy Franklin, I would have been like, wait, we get to draft Troy Franklin? I thought we were done with that. So yeah, I'm having a blast with these. All right. Thank you guys, everyone tuning in. Like I said, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the randomizer and Best Ball Bash finale. If you are a YouTube member, you are eligible to be in the bash. And guess what? Tonight is your best odds. Now, you're not going to get to do a full draft with me. That's the flip side of this coin. But we're going to get 6 of you on stage, on camera. Each person who wins a spot will get to draft 3 rounds with me. We will all collectively have a 1/6 ownership stake in this. And as someone who once owned 1/5 of a CryptoPunk with a group of pals, it's a good time having a 1/5/1/6 share of something so valuable as a BBM entry with me. So that'll be a very fun time. And then we will do the randomizer finale with Jacob Sanderson. The wheel is packed. It's going to be a different type of thing this show, though. Instead of each prompt being for the guest, Jacob and I are going to alternate, essentially doing improvised PowerPoint presentations for PowerPoints we have not even seen yet. And then the crowd and the audience, you guys can judge whether we get to make the pick we want. It truly isn't about the picks. It's just watching us try to make cases for things we don't actually probably believe. So that's tonight on the randomizer. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back for lulz. That's my one show tomorrow. I am going to force Brick to draft a few teams with me. And then tomorrow night, we have our Ship Chasing main event finale with Crack Rock over on that channel. And then Friday, I will conclude my 150 Best Ball Mania drafts. That'll kick off at the usual breakfast time of 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll have a bunch of guests swinging by, and I will wrap up 150 stream drafts. Thank you to everyone hanging out in the chat. Appreciate you all. Let's go over to Neil Orfield's channel right now to draft another team. We'll see you guys over there in 1